Welcome, all of you, to a very special episode of Inspired by Mystery Podcast. Oh, shit. I forgot to lower my fucking volume again. I'm the worst. I'm so sorry. Shit. Oh, now Bixby's trying to talk to me. Oh, my God. One day
Bixby,
I'm going to
shut
get it.
it.
One day. Someday. This is fellow Twitch streamer and our Twitch family member, the Empress Jodi. Welcome, the Empress Jodi. We have
bow before me, peasants. Bow before me.
Oh, it is so lovely to have you. I am so glad to have you on the show. This is so fun. This is going to be fantastic. A lot of
I'm
you guys,
excited.
A lot of you guys have seen the Empress Jodi in the chats before, and now we get to see the face behind the name. So here we have the actual face of royalty right now.
The face behind the place.
Yes, that's, we've actually been able to see each other on the sub hangout chats in Roxy Gun Project's Discord, which has been fantastic. But this is pretty fun that we get to have you on here for any of these folks who haven't got the chance to get to know you. And in the Discord hangouts, there's a lot going on. Oh, so
my
now
God.
it's just me and you and chat.
Yeah. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Oh, sorry.
Never be sorry for bursting into song.
No, I don't want you guys getting a DMCA strike because of me singing that. Sorry.
It's a cover. It's
Yes, that's it. It's a cover.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Roxy, back me up on this. Roxy will back me up on this.
We were making jokes last night while we were watching Roxy Gun's channel because they were doing a cover of Crimson Riot because Ryan wasn't on the drums and they had Randy on there.
Right.
Me and Dusty were making jokes. We're like, wow, these guys really sound a lot like Crimson Riot. That singer's really nailing the vocals. It sounds exactly like the lead singer.
Lower my cam just a bit. Okay.
She wants a boob shot. I think. No,
I know, right? You're gonna get your. See, I can't lower it too much.
No, it's got to go higher. Yeah, because we wanted to be able to see her beautiful crown, her princess crown. There we go. I think that's lovely.
There we go. Hi. Yeah. Too
low.
low. Turbo. Turbo. Shush. Here, I can just do this. See, here's my crown. It lights up.
It's so cool.
Cute.
No, you should totally leave it on the whole time. I love it.
Okay, but I'll leave it.
I vote yes. It's so cute.
I could.
We've got multiple crowns. We have crown choices today.
Yeah.
I love it. This is so fantastic. Great. You look fabulous. Dusty digs it.
Thank you, Dusty. Mwah.
So since you are a fellow Twitch streamer, real
Yes.
quick, why don't you tell us a little bit about what your Twitch channel consists of?
It's full of sass. It's very lewd, and I have no shame in it. Sass,
Excellent. That's
lewd.
exactly how we like it.
What more do you need? I mean,
I love it.
Seriously, what more do you need? But it is my community is a very loving community. We are open to all forms of life, whether you're gay, straight, bi, trans, non-binary, asexual, whatever. If you're part of the Alphabet Mafia, come visit, come hang out.
I love that. Fully inclusive.
We accept you. We accept you. Because I personally myself am pansexual. Okay. Praise the pan. Praise the pan. And I have a lot of friends who are actually are gay, lesbian, and some are transitioning. So I'm just like, if you guys ever need a safe place, I've got it.
That's fantastic.
You're always welcome.
I love that.
You're all welcome to hang out and just be silly with us. And I like silliness as well. I jokingly call everyone that comes in, like every new follow I get, I call them a citizen of the empire.
Ooh, I like that.
it's cute. I don't. It's like I don't want to call them minions because minions are supposed to do the dirty work. No, 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 no.
Well,
Every
speaking of
person,
followers, we got Toth Monra is a new follower. So
yes,
greetings.
he is my proverbial little brother. He's my Twitch little brother, and he and I have been friends for a couple of years now, and we actually have a running gag between us where we are Lucifer's children. It's
Oh,
hilarious.
really?
So, yeah, so the running gag is Lucifer is my father, that makes God my grandfather. My mother was an angel, my stepmother's a witch. Yeah, guess who dad stuck with longer? It wasn't mom. That's the story. And granddad's getting real tired of dad's shit. It's time for me to take over. And I'm like, I'm ready.
I
That's
like it.
this is the story that Toth and I have run with for the past like 2-3 years, and we still stick with it because it's hilarious. People actually have asked us, "Are you serious?" Like, no, it's a it's just our inside joke between us,
Yeah.
and we love it.
Are you serious? Like that's not something you can be like very serious about. No, you're making a character and you're rolling
Exactly.
with it. I think it's cute.
Yeah, we just roll with the punches and everything. It's one of our fun. It's one of our fun things.
That's
He
so
is very
fun.
protective. He is very, very protective of me. He's a moderator in my channel. Anybody tries to cross me, he's ready to swing that band hammer on them. I'm like, yeah, don't mess with him, guys. I wouldn't.
That's awesome. Yeah, you gotta have good mods with the strong mod sword capabilities. You gotta be ready to strike
Yes,
at any moment, but not
exactly.
too ready to strike.
Not too
Also,
ready. We just warm it up. We warm up the hammer a little bit,
yeah.
but we don't swing.
Thankfully, we have had a really good track record here on the podcast. We've only had a couple of, I would say, shenanigans pop in
Oh
randomly,
yeah.
and it hasn't even been that bad. It's just some people have come in with a little bit of an attitude, just kind of
Oh
being
yeah. You
obnoxious,
gotta
and
get those. You
you
get
got to deal with
those.
it.
You get those. Yeah.
But it's all right. It's been really good. I'm glad to know that like thus far we have had some really interested people come in, and even if
Hmm.
it's not totally their thing, we haven't had anybody worthy of like an insta ban scenario. But it's
Right.
gonna happen, and
Oh
Roxy's
yeah.
ready.
Oh, I know she
Roxy's ready
is.
as fuck.
Right? Roxy's always ready. She's like, I got this. I'm going. I'm going. I'm like,
I know.
come on, Rox.
She's like, I've been waiting. Will somebody please come in and talk shit right now?
Nobody does because they know better. And it's like you don't want to be banned by Roxy Gunn. I'm serious. You
No,
just don't.
no. Nope. She'll pull out the big guns. Take you down.
Bam, bam. Tickets to the gun show.
So on your channel, what is it that you do exactly? Are you strictly a gaming streaming
Yes.
channel?
Yep. Strictly gaming. Games vary from Destiny 2 down to Vermintide 2, Stardew Valley, Darkest Dungeon, um House Flipper, which is one of the most calming games you could ever play.
House
Oh,
Flipper?
I love
The game?
the game is called House Flipper.
It sounds like a TLC
You
show.
That's it. That's exactly what it is. That's
What?
pretty much what
Really?
it is. You're pretty much it's like you are a remodeler of homes. People send you jobs, say, "Hey, I've got this house I inherited. I bought it as is and whatnot, and I want it fixed up. I need some walls knocked down. I need it repainted. Oh yeah, I want to add in it's like I have a room that I want to use for my gaming. If you could get the equipment put in there and everything, oh my god, it's so much fun. I
So it's
love
just
it.
pretty much like a decorating game where you just get to decorate
Yeah.
things. Do you have to pay, like some of those games where you have to actually pay for like the cool stuff or whatever, or do you earn these points or what?
It's like so as you earn money from the job, so then that way you can buy the stuff. It's
Hmm.
like they give you a quote unquote tablet to So you can see like the task you need to do, like, and what you need to buy for the rooms and everything. They tell you what paint they want, what tiles they want for the bathroom, if they want to do carpeting, if they want to do a wood paneling on the floor. It's fun.
That sounds fun. Do
It's
you get to be creative though and make your own things, or do you have to follow the instructions that are given
you
to
kind of
you?
have to follow what's given to you. But they don't
Okay.
tell you exactly how they want the walls. They tell you what colors to paint the wall, but they don't tell you how, like what design. So it's like, okay, I've given them stripes all around the room, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm getting paid to do it. I don't care.
That's fun. There was some little tablet game a bunch of years ago where you designed your own bakery, and
Oh,
I
yes.
fucking loved it. I don't play very many games at all. I'm like pretty old school about stuff. I'm just not really a gamey person, but somehow I stumbled upon this bakery game and I was like, oh, that'll be kind of fun. And I got really into it for a second because you got to buy all of the cool pastry cases and displays and the floors and the whole thing. And you make your bakery and then you bake
Hmm.
these baked goods and make sure they don't burn and sell them. And then you get
Yep.
money to buy more stuff. And I thought it was honestly real fun. It was great. But then I
Hmm.
reached a point where I couldn't go any further unless I actually paid money to acquire these things. Like they hook you and then they're like, "Oh, for
Oh, yeah.
$12 you can get this thing that you need." And I'm like, "Fuck you, you're trying to scam me. I'm out." I was like,
Exactly.
"I'm not falling for your shit."
No,
But it was fun.
no scamming. No scamming.
No. So that's actually pretty fun. That sounds like a kind of chill kind of thing. Like
It
as
is.
far as games go, since I'm not much of a modern gamer, I don't like
Yeah.
stuff that's like too fucking crazy. If there's like a bunch of shit getting shot and people are running out, like I like more like calm, calmer
Yeah.
things. I guess
Yeah.
it just stresses me out when
Yes,
there's like too much
Roxy,
going on.
you would love this game. You would absolutely love it. You would totally love it.
Yeah.
I know
Well,
she
that's cool.
would.
It's neat that you get to go on and you get to play different games that you enjoy, and then people pop in
Absolutely.
and they get to hang out with you while you're doing it, and then you get to be sassy and give them crazy commentary the whole time. That's great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
One thing that I've always wanted to ask a game streamer: how do you pay attention to the chat as well as pay attention to your game? Because that sounds really difficult.
Okay. It's not easy. I'm not even going to lie. It's really not easy. I only work on one monitor, but I do have a tablet that I use as a quote unquote second screen of sorts. So I
Okay.
can see what's going on in chat. So, and then also I have my streamer alerts going off to let me know when someone is hosting my channel or following the channel, subbing to my channel, resubbing, or even rating my channel. So it's usually when I'm into a game, I hear any of those alerts, I'll quickly kind of like go out of game, go back to my what I call my live scene, where you just get to see me and the chat box. So I can do my interaction with whoever came in, especially when it's raids. And I
Okay.
just want to make the raider, the other streamer, feel welcome and appreciated and everything. So, yeah,
That's really
so,
cool.
but yeah, it is hard to keep your eyes on chat while trying to play the game. But usually my mods will play as I have a little sound clip called "Listen." If any of you have ever played Legend of Zelda, you know who Nami is, the annoying little fairy who loves to always say, "Hey, listen." Whenever anybody in the chat needs my attention, I tell them, "Play that," and I can look to chat real quick to see what is
Mm,
needed of me.
I like that.
Chid,
That's cool.
Chid, I never ignore you. I never ignore the Chid. Never.
Chid's the best. I'm glad you're here. We were actually trying to summon you with our minds earlier, hoping that you would pop in, and you're here.
Mm.
And Walt, I want to thank you very much for hosting us right now. I really, really appreciate that. You're the best.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Well, that's
See,
super cool. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, having some kind of like trigger so that you're like, oh, I'm actually needed over here, you can pause or
Yeah.
step away or a second. Because
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about, I'm a Tetris person, like old school Tetris and
Oh
Dr.
yeah,
Mario.
I
I
love
love that
Tetris. I
shit.
love Tetris.
And Chris was telling me, he's like, dude, you should totally just stream you doing these old games. Like people would watch. And I'm like, I feel bad because how the hell am I going to be able to read the chat when you're in the Tetris zone? There's no time.
You're in the
You
zone.
can't look away, you know? Like
You
you gotta
can't.
just
No, especially when you get,
stay in the
especially when
zone.
it's getting closer to the top, and it's like, oh god, turn,
I
turn,
know.
turn, turn. Ah.
Yep.
And you can't.
I mean, I can have full blown conversations like for the majority of that up until about once it gets to about level like 14 or so, that I'm like, everybody shut the fuck up. Hold on. I need concentration. But up until that point, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I could chat, but I don't know if I could actually look away and read unless it was like 4 words, you know? I could probably like do 4 words. But scanning and making sure I'm in the right spot, I think I would totally fuck it up. Which might actually make it funnier. It might actually make it entertaining. Where people are trying to distract me. It's like on basketball where they're playing pool and he's like, Steve Perry, you know, like that kind of thing. Like people would just be like, ha ha ha, fucked you up.
So, you screw that up. It's like that. Thanks.
I know. But yeah, I'm definitely more old school with stuff. But there's so many newer games, and I know that the gaming community is such a huge thing, and it really does bring a lot of people together nowadays.
Oh yeah.
And people of all different walks of life, no matter how old you are, where you are, like any details about your personal life, people bond over these games, and it's really nice to give people like something that they can come together on. So it's nice that you're doing that, bringing people together. It's really cool.
Turbo, I've got coffee. I need it. You got to remember, I'm 3 hours ahead of you. So I need to stay awake for this. So I got coffee with me.
Good job. Good job. Being proactive.
Exactly.
As royalty should be, always.
Of course.
So if one of my lovely mods would like to put a link to the Empress Jodi's channel, that would be fantastic. And anybody that's listening, if you'd like to follow, you should follow her. It would be great. So,
you forgot the crawlers, Chid? You're fired.
I know. I love grillers. They're so
So
good.
do I. Chid and
no
I
more
always
Journey psychouts. Roxy knows exactly what I'm talking about. Steve.
Yeah. No, because when Chid and I are both in Roxy Gun Project channel, I'm like, Chid, bud, we going on a Tim's run? He goes, yeah, betcha. And I was like, awesome. I need a crawler or 2. And he doesn't bring crawlers. He's fired. So fired.
God, they are so good. Every time I go somewhere that has Dunkin' Donuts, because I grew up with Dunkin' Donuts in South Florida, they were everywhere.
Same here.
And we don't have Dunkin' Donuts out here. We just don't have them. And it's
I know, but you have Voodoo Donuts. But there's Voodoo Donuts.
Not in Seattle. They're in Oregon. I know. Portland and Eugene. So I have to drive at least 3 hours.
Just for a Voodoo Donut.
And I'm not going to lie, I have done it. It's happened. I'll do it again, too.
Yes, Toth. I do remember that night you got me to do that silly dance on stream. Haven't forgotten that one.
Are we recreating that?
No, we're not.
Dang.
Did you ever see the movie Labyrinth with David Bowie?
It's literally one of my favorite movies of my entire life.
Okay,
Absolutely.
He's talking about the dance, magic dance.
We're
He got me
to
to
the whole thing.
Yeah. Toth
played
it. He played the song.
Hard as babe could cry.
Yeah. He got me to dance on stream to that, and I'm
fucking
like,
awesome. In costume or just
no,
to the song?
nope.
Okay.
I was not in costume.
Slap that baby, make him free. I would love to see it. Yeah, Roxy says bit goal. Maybe we need a bit goal for that. How much would it take?
Oh, I should put that on my channel. Thanks, Roxy.
Okay.
I love you. Actually, not a bit goal. I would make it a channel redemption. And I would make the stakes pretty high.
But you make the money from the bits, channel points.
This is true. So I would probably say, if you want me to do that dance, how does 5,000 bits sound?
5,000 bits.
I know some of you people have 5,000 bits. Chid, I'm looking at you.
Now, is this 5,000 at one shot, or is this 5,000 accumulated over the stream? Because if you hit the 5,000, then you get to do the thing.
One shot.
Oh.
One shot. Actually, maybe I'll make it 10,000. One shot.
Oh, shit. 5,000, half the song, 10,000, song in its entirety. With lip syncing.
But we can't do it because DMCA. It will get me a strike.
Okay, here's what you do. Because you have Roxy do a cover of it, which is totally fine, and then you play that and do the thing.
Roxy, are you up for the challenge?
I'm signing you up. I'll even do it with Roxy. We could go double team on this one.
There we go. Roxy, you have your assignment.
Good night, Turbo.
Should you choose to accept it?
In. We love you. Thanks for coming.
Good night, Turbo. Love you, babe. Mwah.
Sweet dreams. No, I love it. It's so fun coming up with the different channel port redemption stuff and bit goals and all of that. It's such a unique platform. Twitch is so unique where it's kind of like truth or dare, but you can only put what things that it is that you want to do. So it's like you're dangling this carrot, but the carrot's whatever you want. So, you get to.
Oh, I see your carrots, but I won't be dangled in. Oh, sorry. Did I just quote a Crimson Riot song? Oopsie.
Me and Roxy talked about getting carrot friendship tattoos, because when she was over here at my house, we pulled a carrot out of my little back thing, and there was two carrots stuck together.
Oh!
And I was like, oh, look, they're friends. They're like best friend carrots. So cute. And she was like, that was the cutest thing. She's like, maybe that's what we need as carrot tattoos. So maybe one day we will end up getting a little conjoined carrot tattoo.
I just realized when I said that I see you dangled carrots, but I won't be taking it. It's like, oh wait, did I just quote Crimson Riot? You're welcome. Yes. One of my favorite songs anyway. I love the song Hurt. See? See, Roxy, you're included in this now. You're included.
She's part of the team. Oh yeah, and me eating the worm on stream. Oh. Were you there for that one? It was not good. It was like a dried. I do not want to ever eat that shit. And Dusty and my friend Shannon were like, we're doing it. And then everyone was like, you should do it. And I'm like, fuck you, I'm not doing shit. And then I made what I felt like was an unrealistic bit goal at the time. And it apparently was too realistic, because I'm pretty sure it was Chid and Roxy that threw in and hit that goal within 5 seconds. And I was like, fuck, now I have to eat a worm. I don't want to eat a worm.
God damn it. Fuck.
But I gotta tell you, I don't have a lot of things that bring bits to the table. Sometimes I don't get any bits, and it's totally fine. I'm just doing this because I love it. It's not about the bits, but sometimes you want incentive. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna have to eat more fucking worms, Jody. I think I'm gonna have to. Bring some
God,
worms out.
no more worms.
I really don't want
no more worms.
But
the Empress has deemed it so. No more worms. Empress.
Oh yeah, Night Wiccan.
Right,
that's true.
No more
Night
worms.
Wiccan was a part of making that happen. That's true. He said he was going to pop in tonight, so Wiccan should be coming in at some point this evening. It would be fantastic if he does. In fact,
Chid, I didn't do it. Maybe. Chid, that says guilty written all over it.
I think he was the first one where he was like, "What? You need bits? Here you go. Eat the worm." I'm like, "God damn it!" Which was it was really funny, and it was just the tiniest little thing, but it was more than I ever wanted to do.
It's just the fact that it's a worm. Who cares what everything was on it? I'm like,
right before that though, Dusty and Shannon split a scorpion. They ate a dried scorpion.
Nope.
No.
Not doing it.
I don't even care how many bits you give me. I don't want to eat a fucking scorpion. I don't want to eat it.
Oh God, no.
I don't care about your money. It doesn't matter. I'm fine. I don't need your money. I need to not eat a scorpion is what I need to
do. This is the one time I don't care about the money. No. Don't care. Just no.
Nope. I have everything I need in this world. If I was living in a dumpster and was starving, I would eat the scorpion. But at this point, I think we're good. I'm good.
We're good.
All is well. Yeah, there's a scorpion range of like, how badly do I need to eat this scorpion? Like, not
I
very
know,
badly.
right?
Okay, we're gonna not do that. So I'm open to any suggestions for any kind of bit goals. If you guys wanted to see me do something ridiculous that's not hideous like that, then let me know. I am open to suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dusty said the scorpion was good. I don't know. I don't believe him. I have a hard time getting my mind away from what is happening. You know, like
Right.
maybe it's
Same
not
here.
that bad, but just the like in my mind, the visual of what's happening. It's not.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same way. I'm like, nope. It's like I know what I'm eating, and I'm like, no, no.
Yeah.
I know what it
Yeah.
is. I can't do this. I can't do this.
Dude,
Nope,
it was
nope,
like
nope.
that when I ate Rocky Mountain oysters. Are you familiar with
Oh,
Rocky Mountain oysters?
I know what they are, and
Okay.
I never had them, and I'm still gonna pass on it.
For anybody
I'll
in the
pass.
chat that does not know what Rocky Mountain oysters are, they are bull testicles, fried,
Blech, blech.
sliced and fried. At least in the configuration that I ate them. Maybe they come in other configurations. I had them sliced up, and we were at a really fancy wild game restaurant in Estes Park, Colorado. And I did not order them, but my father-in-law was like, "Oh, we got to try them. I've always just been curious to try them." So he orders them as an appetizer, and Dusty's eating them, and I'm like, "I don't want to eat that." And Dusty's like, "Honestly, it's really not bad. Like, it just tastes like beef. Like, I think I wouldn't tell you to do it. I thought you're gonna hate it." I'm like, "All right, you know what? I got to just try it. I got to give it a go. Go out on a limb."
Mhm.
And the first bit that I had, I was like, "Wow, it's actually pretty good. Like, it was fine. The texture was good." And then I grabbed another piece, and it was chewy, and I was like, "Ah! Nope, no. Now
Nope,
it's chewy.
nope,
Now I
nope.
know I'm eating balls. I can't do it now. Like the other one was like not so bad. This makes me think I'm eating balls, and we can't do that. Can't,
Nope, nope.
can't.
Just can't. Can't do that. Can't do this. Nope.
Hold on, I'm grabbing my cat, who was yelling. Okay, here you go, sweetheart. There you go. She's so old, I have to put her up and down on the couch. Have a seat. We're having a show. What is the weirdest thing that you've ever eaten?
Weirdest thing I've ever eaten.
Sit down.
I honestly will say oyster shooters.
Mm.
It was probably the weirdest thing I ever had because I had never had them before. And then I was at a Renaissance fair in Maryland, and they were like $1. And I'm like,
Wow,
okay.
that's pretty good.
I'm like, here's $10. Give me a round of 10. So the way they did it was they give you like the normal size shot glass. They put it's like you watch them shuck the oyster and everything. They put in the horseradish sauce first, and then they drop the oyster into it, and then just put a little extra on top of it.
Oh, okay, so
that
it's
way
not on the half shell, so it's just actually like a little shot. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So they did it that way, and then we just take it, we raise it, and then we're like, knock it back. We're like, that was actually pretty decent. Chase it down with a swig of mead. Yeah, we're like, who wants more? Me. Me.
You know, I had not tried oysters until a few years ago, and I could take it or leave it. I didn't really care about it. Wasn't my favorite. Didn't hate it. But then I heard people saying that they're alive when you eat them, and now I can't, in good conscience, do it. No, and I know they don't have, brains. They're not like super necessarily sentient beings, but I don't know what kind of level of consciousness they have. I don't know. And I just feel really bad about eating something alive and just having it like being like,
Right.
I'm melting in my stomach acid. Like I feel like it's douchey.
Yeah. Walt, yes it was. That is exactly the same. That is the Maryland Run Fair. Yes it was, sir.
There you go.
But it wasn't at the White Hart Tavern. It was at some other tavern. I can't remember the name of it. But yes, you are correct with the Ren Fair name. Good. 10 points to you, sir. I don't know what Potter house you're in. If you're in Hufflepuff, congratulations, you just earned us 10 points. Thanks. Sorry. I'm
I
a
haven't been to
Hufflepuff, and I
Renaissance
just don't
Festival
care.
in quite some time, and I would love to go back. It's so much fun. Do you go
Oh
in
my
full
God, they
garb?
are.
Are you like all into it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I have pirate garb and I have wench garb. So, fun fact. Okay. Hey, random fun fact. I'm a pinned member of the International Wenches Guild. The
Ooh, there's a wenches
international,
guild.
yes. Mm-hmm. A member of the International Privateers Guild and the Mercenaries Guild. So I have 3 pins
That
that
is
are well
impressive.
known at the Ren fairs. The female Renmerks, we are called battle bitches, and that's bitches with a Y. I love the way they spelled it that way. And I'm
That's
like,
great.
like I'm a pretty badass battle bitch. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
That's
This
awesome.
is
So
why.
how do you
So
get
I feel like,
inducted?
yeah. So I feel like my Ren Fair experience really helped me create this Empress persona a little bit more
That's great.
and everything. So it's kind of like, okay. It's like I've seen how royalty can be. I twist it a little bit. It's fine. It's fine.
So where did it
I
come from?
mean,
Where did your royal story begin? How did you fall upon that as your moniker, if you will?
my good friend Chris, who is the lead singer in a heavy metal band called I the Betrayer, dubbed me the title the Empress of Rock. I've
Nice.
kept that. I have kept that ever since he called me that. I actually went through a couple of rebrand names on Twitch before I became the Empress Jodi. The name I had before, I don't like. I call it my dead Twitch name because there was a former Twitch partner streamer who used to call me his favorite little rock star, and and after things went down with him, after what I knew, I'm like, I got to get away from that. I need to
Okay,
get
fair enough.
away from that. So remembering what my friend Chris had called me, and I'm like, I'm gonna base my new branding off of that. And everybody was always calling me by the dead Twitch name, and I'm like, well, I think, well, this it's like you can call me this or you can call me Jodi. I answer to either one. I'm just like, you know what? I'd rather just have my actual name in my Twitch name because then it's just easier. Then I know who they're
Sure.
talking
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Makes
No, that
way
makes
more
sense.
sense. And it's like, and I just feel better when people just call me on my actual name. And it's like, hi, I don't care that I'm using my government name. Hello, take me as I am. You don't like me, there's a door. I'm a no nonsense person.
Good.
It's like, you
Good.
don't
I
like me, it's
appreciate
fine.
no nonsense people. This is great. I appreciate you
No,
for
I
not putting up with
appreciate
anybody's shit.
you. No,
So
I
I
don't
want you
take
to
it.
tell
I
me a
don't
little
take it.
bit. Tell me a little bit about you. Tell me where you grew up. Yeah, like
Okay.
let's just start from the beginning. You were born at a very young
From the
age.
beginning. I was born 51 years ago. Yes, you heard that correctly. 51. I am that old. I mean, I'm sorry, that young. That young.
51.
Born and raised in Massachusetts. So, yes, people have asked me, oh, have you been to Salem? Yes, I have been to Salem. It's
Oh,
nothing
Salem is.
exciting.
I thought it was absolutely beautiful and
Oh,
historic
it's
because since you're
gorgeous.
from Massachusetts, you might be desensitized to the historic nature. But I fucking loved it. It's fantastic.
Uh-huh. Exactly. I'm just like, uh-huh. They're like, oh, so you cheer for the Red Sox, the Celtics, the Bruins, and the Patriots? I'm like, uh, yes, yes, not really, and yes. I just
Okay.
don't do basketball. I don't do basketball.
I don't
I
do
just
any
don't.
sports, so it's fine. But
Yeah.
Massachusetts, your whole life, you've lived in Massachusetts your whole life.
hmm I did
Wow.
spend 4 years out in Nevada, where I went to college. I
Oh,
was in
cool.
the I was in Lake Tahoe area of Nevada, the North Shore. So I was the town I went to college in, kind of rich. I actually knew where Schwarzenegger had a vacation house. I actually had that everybody pointed out. I was like, oh, Schwarzenegger's vacation house. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
Nice. The late Leonard Nimoy and his wife were very big patrons to our college because his wife did the summer arts program. So she did like all the pottery and painting and stuff like that. His wife was very artistic. And when I graduated from college, Mr. Nimoy was our commencement speaker. So I actually got to meet Spock.
That's awesome. What did you go
Live
to college
long and
for?
prosper.
What was your major?
I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in humanities with a minor in English literature. So humanities actually covers psychology, sociology, ethics and values, just things to make you a better human, more humane with way of thinking when you leave and how you should take this humane perspective on things. And I'm just like, I picked the right one.
Good.
And it was also
like
the easiest major too. It was the easiest major.
What did you want to do with that as far as a career?
I wanted to be a social worker.
Oh, really? Want to give back?
But I'm too much of an empath. So I would have failed because I would have gotten too attached to the cases because of my love for kids.
I totally understand that. I'm super,
so I couldn't
empathetic
do it
too, and it's hard because I feel everybody's shit too, and I really want to help everybody, and I am like the listening ear for a lot of people, and I never feel burdened by doing that, but sometimes I physically feel it, so I have to be mindful about the amount that I do, and if I did that as a job 24/7, I would have a really hard time leaving it at the door and coming home and just having a normal, like, happy life, knowing that there's people struggling so hard.
So this is why I work retail now.
Really?
I can separate that. I can separate that life. I can separate retail from home. Thank God.
Sure. But do you feel like your training as far as your college degree went, even though you didn't use it as a career, do you feel like it really helped you understand people more and
absolutely
ways to communicate?
Cool. Absolutely. I've had a lot of people in my life just come to me and say, hey, I'm dealing with something right now. I don't know who to turn to. Can I like, do you got time to listen? It's like, okay, yeah. It's like, I can be your sounding board. It's like, I can listen. I may not give an opinion, but if you just need to let it out for someone to hear it, then tell me. It's like, and I will not take it any further than whatever you have said to me. Girl, I have a lot of secrets holding inside of me that are going to go to the grave with me.
That is such an important thing to be a listener, because this day and age, I feel like the act of listening and truly knowing how to listen is it's not as common as I think that it once was. A lot of people are just waiting to talk, and it's okay when you're having a conversation. Person A speaks, listens, and then person B speaks and listens. But as far as just sometimes people just need somebody to listen to them. And if I recognize if I'm trying to give advice or whatever, and I can tell that somebody just wants to be heard, I can step back and just be there and listen to them. And I think that's really cool that you have the ability to do that, because it is something very important. Some people just want
one of my closest
to be heard.
One of my closest friends, his transitioning came out recently, trans, going male to female, and we talk in DMs on Discord a lot, especially when she, using the correct pronoun for her, when she was starting to go through this, felt like she couldn't really talk to really anybody. I'm like, wait. I'm here. We've known each other a couple of years now. Talk to me. Tell me what are you feeling? And also, this friend is an autistic adult as well. So I am helping her figure out how to be with the transition and like, well, how am I supposed to tell people? And it's like, okay, and I'm sitting there and I could see I could read the frustration, and it's like, okay, you're getting overstimulated. I can see this. Just sit back. Don't think about it too much right now. It's like, we'll discuss this another time. Sure. And everything.
It sounds like you're being a really good friend to her, because that's a really huge life change, and it's really hard for a lot of people going through that to feel accepted. So it is really good that you're able to be that sounding board.
Yeah, she has my support 110%. Her partner is going female to male, so they kind of came out as a trans couple at the same time, and I'm like, oh my god, this is freaking awesome.
That's really cool. You know, Roxy, I have to agree with you wholeheartedly. Roxy says, I'm a fixer, and I have a hard time listening and leaving it at that. I want to fix it. That's my initial, I guess, goal that I put out there. You know, I want to be able to help people work through things and help people fix things. And I do give my insight. I'm always like, this is just my perspective. Maybe try this, maybe try that. So that's definitely how I usually go about things, is to try to give some kind of good insight. But I can also recognize if somebody just doesn't need that in that moment, if it's not helping and they just want to talk, then I feel like I'm getting better at being able to recognize that and just shut the fuck up and listen sometimes, you know, which is, it's really hard for me because I do want to fix. I want to come up with some creative things that, like, hey, maybe you didn't think about it like this. Like, why don't you try this? Maybe, you know, maybe if you tell this person this in this way or whatever. And I always really try to make sure that I'm not like overstepping my boundary with saying, I think you should do this, or this is what I would do. But I can't help that, because that's just the nature and how I am. But I try to be really like careful about the way that I put those things out there, so somebody doesn't think I'm making it about me. It's not about me. It's about just my perspective on maybe what you could do to try to help better your situation or something. It's really hard. Helping people is definitely really hard. And being the type of person where people know that you will listen or know that you have good insight and they do come to you all the time. Like, I feel like, you know, certain people like us, like, people gravitate to us because they know that we will hear them. And it is a blessing, and I do not take the position lightly, but sometimes it's a lot. Sometimes.
Yeah, being an empath, it's a blessing, but it's also a curse at the same time.
It is.
Because you care, because these people who trust you with what they've told you, you have to keep that to yourself, because they asked you not to say anything, and you're like,
I know. That's a tough one.
You want to tell somebody else about this, and you can't, because you made a promise to them. So it's like, ugh. So it's a good thing.
Secrets are hard. They're hard. I absolutely can do it. If somebody expresses to me, I'm telling you this in confidence, please do not speak it. I got you. I will do it. But yeah, secrets are inside of me, like tap dancing, like da 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 da. Like, they want to come out, but I can't let them out. You know, I can't let them out. It's just it's a bond that we make with somebody, and I am always good at being able to keep those things to myself. Although I understand what you mean, where you have these things just busting out, but sometimes it's none of anybody's business. You know, I'm not just gonna want to go tell random people or whatever, but if it's relevant to a situation, then you're like, oh, I want to give this other person insight on this thing, but I can't do that. So you just have to sit there and be like, yep. You know,
I actually have been put in the middle of relationships. Oh, that is the worst. when you're an empath, especially when you're friends with both parties.
Sure. Sure.
It
Yeah.
sucks. It just sucks. Because you listen to one side of the story, then you hear the other side of the story, and it's just like, okay, hi, my name's Geneva. Yeah, you're not doing this to me. You two are not going to do this to me.
There's been
No,
times where
no.
I have really like thought about offering to help with mediation. I think that I would be a really good constructive mediator,
Hmm.
but at this point, I haven't been taken up on that offer and I haven't had to, which in a way I'm like, oh, thank God, because I really don't want to have to be in the middle. But sometimes
Don't.
they need somebody in the middle to say,
Right.
hey, what this person is really trying to say is this. Hey, what this person's really trying to say
Hmm.
is this. Like, we need to meet in the middle, find a way to work it out, you know? So I think
Yeah.
if I had gone that route, like psychology, I think I would have probably been pretty helpful as far as, helping people to be able to find common ground with each other. But
Yeah.
it's not what I am meant to do in this life in a professional sense.
Hmm.
But you know what? We're good friends. Even if it's not something we do professionally, it's good that people know that we are good friends and we do have their back, and we'll be there to listen if somebody needs it.
Absolutely.
It's good. That's
Absolutely.
that's pretty cool. So that was your professional schooling. So what did you
Pretty
decide to
much.
do after that fact? Did you decide after going to school for that, or was it while you were going to school that you're like, this isn't
It
something that I can
was
really do?
it was while I was going to school. I realized it's like this is something I want to do. It's like I want to help people and everything, but then once I got out, um it's when right a couple weeks after I graduated college is when my husband and I met for the first time as friends. And I'm like, and after we had time together, and I'm just like, yeah, I really can't do it. It's like the job I want to do, there's no way I can do it now. I can't. I just
Yeah.
couldn't. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Well, I'm
I
glad that you
will
recognize that rather
find.
than just feel like, well, I've already put so much energy into it and I've already spent this money, so I guess I'll do it, and then have it end up hurting you in the end. Like, that's not
But
good.
technically,
So,
in a way, working in retail, I'm still helping people. It's like I'm helping them find. It's like so because I work two part-time jobs. I work for Sephora and I work for Yankee
oh, you
Candle.
do?
Yeah.
I love both of
We'll
those, but
talk we'll
especially
talk
Sephora.
after. We'll
Woohoo!
talk after stream about that. Um so in a way I'm still so all that schooling I had, I am actually am applying my degree to it, but in the retail world because I'm helping clients in Sephora find the right mascara they want or the right skincare they need. And down at the candle, it's like, what candle do you need for this for a gift? Or what kind of room spray are you looking for? Yes, Roxy. Right. Yankee Candles. Again, Roxy,
I
we will
love Yankee
talk.
candles.
We will
Mmm.
talk later. So, yeah. So, actually, so like I said,
You
my
are still
schooling
helping
actually
people.
is, I'm still helping,
Yep.
but without the emotional attachment. Thank God.
Yes. I'm a server. So
Yeah.
being in the service industry, it's the same kind of thing. Where like, I guess it depends on who the server is. You can be
Yeah.
very robotic and go up to a table. Hello, would you like a beverage? Perhaps a Coca Cola? Would you like some
Yeah.
appetizer? You could just be totally robotic and get the job done and still do a good job, and it's fine. But I can't do that. I am a connector. So when I see people
Yeah.
at the table, I'm like, how are you guys? How are you? And I
Yep.
want to get to know people and I want them to feel like they are being
Yep.
seen and heard, even though it's just
Hmm.
their waitress, that I am connecting with them and I'm giving them a unique experience that they can't
Absolutely.
get just from a robot. So I understand what you're saying. We're still dealing with the public. And even if it's something like a candle or a burrito or whatever, we're still
Exactly.
giving them what
We
it is
still
that
have
they
that
want.
connection.
Yeah. And some people, like they don't have a lot of interactions, they don't have a lot of friends. So when they go to a restaurant or they go to a store, that is their social outlet. You know, you get a little old grandma or something that doesn't have anybody that she talks to. And she's like, I just talked to the candle lady for 40 minutes and it was the best time I've had all week. You know, like we don't realize how much of an effect that it can have on people just being present for them, you know.
Really, Chid? A burrito candle? Get out.
Burrito. That sounds pretty good. Oh, yeah, yeah. It is special. So that is cool that you find that joy in really connecting with people in the times that you can, even though it's makeup or whatever. But it is something that helps fuel their self-esteem too. If somebody needs something to make them feel better or more beautiful or whatever, that's where you come in and you get to be like,
exactly.
I see your face and let me show you what I think would be a great thing for you to feel your best, and they leave happy.
Absolutely.
It's special. And every time they put their eyeshadow on, they're like, that lady that gave me this eyeshadow, like she was the best. You know, there's like a little bit of love.
Exactly. That's what I want them to. That's what I want them to think about it. Yeah, whatever products I sell them, I want it to, and it's like, I wish I could tell them. So when you use this, think of me. Remember what I told you about it. Remember how I told you how to use it and everything, and the results you're gonna get. Like, yeah. I want to tell them that, but I never do. I never do. But we tell them. But when they check, so if I'm actually helping a client and I actually then end up ringing them out, we actually have on the Sephora receipts, there is a survey they can go take. And one of the questions on there asks, did any of our associates help you? We write our name on that receipt. So they take that and then they can put our name in. And then when we get any of the feedback, like whether the next day or a couple of days later, we can get recognized from our clients who are saying, oh my God, she knew exactly what I was looking for. She listened to me and everything. So we don't work on commissions. We work on kudos. Because I've had many clients ask, oh, do you guys work on commissions? Like, no, but we work on kudos. Here's our feedback survey. Go ahead and take that. Here's my name. Because they will ask you if any of our associates helped you. You can go ahead and you can put my name right in there. And they're like, I am so taking this when I get home. You were the best. And I'm like, thank you.
That's good to know, because I'm so bad about doing surveys after the fact. I've had so many people be like, oh, go on the back of the receipt and do the survey. And I'm like, you're the best. I'll totally do it. And I never do. So I'm glad to hear from your perspective that is actually important. I just don't think about it. Like after I leave, I'm like, done.
Because for us, that's a confidence booster. It's like, okay, then we know we're doing our jobs right. Yeah. We know what we're doing and everything.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Okay, I'll be less lazy about that. Give people credit where credit is due. I would be a pauper. Oldman yells at Cloud or everything.
No, Chid's just going to be that guy one day who goes, get off my lawn, you crazy kids. He's going to be that. That's going to be Chid. That's Chid.
Actually, that'd be a great Halloween costume. He did fantastic Freddie Mercury this year. Maybe next year.
He did. I was impressed. Good job, Chid. Bravo. Great. Bravo.
Did you do Halloween costume this year?
I did. I was a zombie mermaid.
Ooh, nice.
It's actually, there's a picture of it in Roxy Gunn Discord.
Oh,
in the
excellent.
selfies.
I'll have to check it out. Cool. That's so fun. Good.
Yeah, it was fun. It took me 2 hours to do the makeup.
Oh. Wow. My makeup this year took me quite some time as well. I didn't think it was going to take as long, but
fabulous. You looked fabulous as a witch.
It was.
As soon as I saw that, I like, oh, Sammy went as Elphaba. I love it.
That fucking nose, dude. That was the craziest thing. I had that nose on for like 30 hours straight and slept in it. Oh, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Thank you, Roxy. Mwah. I appreciate your compliment. And I appreciate the comment on my zombie mermaid.
It's great. I love that we had a Halloween this year. Last year was 2020, so we got really fucking screwed. And this year it was not, back to normal, but it was a little bit
more.
Normal.
It was a little. Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, Roxy said her makeup took her 5 minutes, and Chris's
5 minutes.
However.
Oi.
Oh, that was so fantastic. I love that. That was so good. I love Halloween. It's so much fun. I'm so glad that we get to just.
It's my favorite holiday. It is actually my favorite holiday.
Oh, me too. By leaps and fucking bounds. I mean, it's always Halloween in our house, but we specifically have to take some of the decorations down, even though we don't want to, just so at Halloween time it can actually feel like it's Halloween time. So we force ourselves to take some stuff down because I mean, it's still a very spooky house, and there's still a lot of like Halloween shit and spooky shit all the time.
Oh, right.
We have like 10 boxes of stuff that we put out. And my whole yard right now, it's a huge cemetery with lights and everything and ghosts, and there's all this fun shit happening, and it always makes me so sad when I have to tear it down. I'm like, can't we just leave the tombstones up all year? Because I feel like it's appropriate.
I know.
But we're coming out of spooky season, which for the month of October, my goal was to try to get people on that had some kind of spooky tales to tell. And for the most part, that was correct, with the exception of my friends Corey and Cody, who happen to be here visiting, who are museum curators and rocket builders and all this stuff. So I did have them on. It broke the spooky mold just a little bit. But since we're coming out of spooky season, I believe that you have some spooky stories.
Oh my God, I do.
That you would like to share.
I actually do. When, okay, so when my son was like 6 months old, I happened to be in his room. I was wrapping Christmas presents and everything. And we just happened to be, and it's like, he's standing up in the crib looking over to see what I'm doing. And then all of a sudden, I just see him turn his head, look up to the ceiling, and start giggling. And I'm like, huh?
Oh, spooky.
I'm like, what are you? And I just looked at him and I'm like, whatever, and just went back to what I was doing. I looked back, like a couple minutes later, I looked back and he was doing it again. Okay. Here's some backstory. My son is not my first child. He's my second. We had, sadly, we lost our first baby to a stillbirth.
Oh.
So I'm so over it now. So over.
Was it like full term stillbirth?
Yes. I was over. I was actually over. I was 41 weeks. But that was not the reason. That wasn't the reason. Oh, so I honestly feel he saw his brother's spirit floating at the ceiling. And my first son was born in December back in 98. Born sleeping back in 98. And I'm wrapping Christmas presents when then I realized that explains why he was looking at the ceiling laughing, because he knew his brother was right there watching.
Wow. That's really interesting. And it was something that was making him laugh and giggle. It wasn't something scary and spooky and like frightening.
No, he just looked up and just laughed, and I'm like, what are you laughing at? And I'm looking up, I'm like, there's nothing up there. It was just like.
Was that the only time that happened, or did he do that?
Yeah,
more often?
No, yep. That was the only time that really happened in our house. Once in a while, the cabinets pop open, and I know that's him. Just say, "Hey, Mom, I'm still here." It's like, yeah, I know you're here. I know.
Oh. You know, I gotta say,
Sometimes,
my cats do that. My cats, specifically Pluto, he tracks something. And I
hmm
have no other way to explain it other than he is actually interacting with something that's playing with him, because he'll zoom around the house. And sometimes I just get zoomies, and sometimes he just has regular old zoomies, but sometimes he's looking up and his head's moving around and he's fucking following something. And I will always check to see, is there a bug? We don't, I mean, we're in the Northwest. We don't have a lot of bugs. We have spiders sometimes,
right.
but we don't have like moths and gnats, not that often, really. And they're kind of easy to spot since we're not used to having them. And he's tracking shit sometimes, and he meows.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll sit like, he is the one cat that plays fetch, and I
Yeah.
don't know how he learned how to do this. This is just his own thing. He will bring you the mouse and set it down, and then he sits like a fucking dog waiting for you to pick it up. You throw the thing, he goes and gets it, comes back, same thing, sets it down, and then sits. And sitting means like, I'm ready. I'm ready for you to play. It's like his own
That's
little cat language.
crazy.
It's so cute, dude. It's so cute. And he will do that sometimes with whatever it is that
Yeah.
he's playing with. He'll sit and
Yeah.
look up and meow like, hey, do the thing, do the thing. And then he'll start zooming around, and I'm like, he's fucking playing with something, man. They call it fairies in my house. Tavia calls it the fairies, which
Oh yeah.
is a little more comforting, thinking that maybe it's
Yeah.
some little
That
like
that's what I would
fairy
say. That's what I've
spirits.
called it. Yeah, they're probably spirits. Who knows? Which is why cats are known as familiars to witches, because they know when the spirits are around. They just know. It's the weirdest thing. They have that sixth sense when
Yeah.
something's not right.
Dusty just brought up too. It's like when the cats like triangulate into a point in the middle of the room, which we've got four cats, and usually there's about three of them in the same place. One of them, she's really antisocial, so usually she's off on her own. But there are a lot of times where a cat will all of a sudden just be like whoop, and they'll look, and the other cats will be looking at the same spot, and we're like, I don't see anything. I don't see anything physically there, but they are seeing something. Like something's
Something.
getting their attention.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I've had a
It's
lot of
true.
my own interesting experiences with this kind of stuff, and I find it fascinating if cats slash babies, various different kinds of creatures, dogs, whatever, can actually
Mm-hmm.
pick up on something and see something that our physical eyes
Oh
just
yeah.
can't see at this point.
Can't. Yeah. It's true.
But
It
that's
actually is
interesting
true.
talking about, like, witches using cats as familiars because they're more aware of that
Yep.
realm, kind of that crossover with that realm. It's true.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah. So since we're talking about witches and everything, I actually did practice Wicca for a little while, and the night of my initiation was hilarious. My girlfriend, we're at my girlfriend's house. We're out on her back porch, and she had this um table of sorts where she drew the pentagram on it, and then we had all the candles in the point, like on all the points and everything. Actually no, we made sure we had it north, south, east, west, so we had the four corners covered and everything. So she's sitting there, she's reading all the words and everything that for it and everything. All of a sudden, this wind just picked up, came in, like passed over us, blew out three of the candles,
Ooh.
except for the candle to the north, which was aimed at Bridget. Go figure that one. Wrap your mind around that one for a hot second. I still can't.
Blew
It's
out the
weird.
candles. Strong enough to blow out the candles.
Yeah, blew out three of them, but kept the north candle lit.
What do you think that was symbolic of in that moment or for that
I have
person?
no idea. I still don't know to this day and
Interesting.
everything. I'm
So if
just
that was
like,
your initiation, um what was your lead in to getting into Wicca in general? Like, has it always been something that interests you? Did somebody come along that
It
inspired
was
you?
because my girlfriend is a practicing was a practicing witch at the time. So we would it's like I would visit her at least once a month, like for the weekend, and we would have these talks about getting me in, like easing me into it, because she thought, say, this would be so great for us to learn this together, because she believed whatever, like with her Wiccan beliefs and me growing, like being part of the church, that the beliefs in a way kind of went hand in hand and everything. So it's like with Wicca being more of the earthly ideals and the church being more of the heavenly. So I see where the balance was, and I could see how they could work together on the same plane. I went, it's like,
Sure.
oh my God, that totally makes a whole lot of sense. I get it. Where with Wicca, you praise the ground, you praise the air, you praise fire, you praise water. Where the church is just mostly the holy divinity, the spirit, everything like that. So it's like it made much more sense with the two kind of just like interlinking a little bit with each
Sure.
other
Did you
and
feel like
everything. And
that
I'm like,
affected your previous belief system? Did it enhance what it is that you believed before?
if anything, it enhanced it more, because I grew up Catholic, but
Hmm.
stepping into another realm kind of gave my eyes a better wide opening, and like, oh my God, I never actually realized that everything in this realm we kind of take for granted in regards to earth, air, water, fire. We really sometimes just don't appreciate what Mother
I
Nature
absolutely agree.
has given us.
Sure.
So
So
I'm
it
like,
gave you a little
if I
bit
can,
more of an understanding and appreciation for that.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
fantastic.
It's like
So did you stop
there, it,
practicing once you feel like you got the message and it enhanced you? That's when you kind of
yeah,
stopped.
yeah. Then I'm just kind of
Okay.
like, okay, I kind of really don't need to do this. It's just like, all right. But I still like to wear like the little, like the symbolisms. I still love to wear them when I can and everything. So it's like I think I have like a little charm somewhere that's like a stone, like a piece of quartz or something that has a pentagram charm wrapped around it. So every now and then it's like I'll take that out and I was like, and I'll wear it. And it's like, for me, I consider that like protection for myself, like
Sure.
to have on me and everything. And it just gives me that little bit of strength where I'm stronger.
I love
And
that.
there's Athena. And there's the cat.
Hello, Athena. Welcome to the party.
Hi.
So cute.
Hello, show stealer. Hello. Why are you stealing the show? Why? Because you can. Because she
So, as
can.
far as you growing up in a religious background, did you were you devout in that at the time, or were
Nope.
you questioning
Nope.
those things and kind of taking certain aspects and utilizing them and then asking questions with your
I wasn't
hearts?
I wasn't a devout Catholic. I really wasn't. It's like, yeah, I did the Sunday. We went to church on Sundays. I did the whole catechism classes, big deal. Um, and that was it. But and my mom wanted me to make sure I went through some of the sacraments growing up in Catholic. She made sure I was baptized, but she also wanted me to make my communion and then make my confirmation. Once I made confirmation, she's like, I don't care what religion you believe in afterwards. She's like, if you want to stop going to church, you can do that too. So I did.
Okay, that's actually cool that she was open minded to you
Hmm.
changing your mind. Not like you went through all of this, so obviously you are now have to be a part of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you chose at that point that you did not want to participate in
Yeah.
the church
She
ideals
was
anymore.
she was totally fine with it. She just only we only kept going just so that way I had um the church's knowledge of what it means um to be confirmed, what it means to be baptized, what it means to make your communion, all that, just all that. So um I had that understanding of what the church was trying to teach me growing up and everything. To this day, I mean, I still kind of have I still have the beliefs of the church. And it's something I just can't let go from me because that's just how I was brought up. So usually and I mean, I haven't been in church in probably about 5 years and everything. But when like the holy days come around, like like in February, so it's like with Ash Wednesday up until Easter, it's like I'll still follow those 40 days and 40 nights of like, okay, what am I going to give up during the whole Lent season? I usually find one thing and I'll stick with it. So
Hey,
it's
if
like
it gives
for
you
me,
some kind of comfort or it makes you feel like
yeah.
you're participating in an ancient tradition or if it somehow feeds your soul in a
Yep.
positive way, that's
Mhm.
the most important thing. Like
Yep.
it's
That's
personal to
that's
every
all it
single
is.
person about what it is that they choose to believe and which parts of the traditions that they choose to
Yep.
adopt. And um, that's cool that you kind of figured out what it is that you want and what you don't want out of that,
Oh
and
yeah,
you're content
absolutely.
with all of that. But you also
Uh,
entertained
It's like
the knowledge of nature and integrating that in where it's so important to be aware and acknowledge what it is
oh
that
yeah,
we have
absolutely.
on this beautiful planet and being able to kind of give thanks to that in your own way as opposed to just
Hmm.
putting everything up, to some to the person that created it or thing that created it or whatever, just saying like
Exactly.
regardless of how it's created, it exists. Like look at this beautiful tree and this beautiful river and the
Exactly.
sky and all of that. So that sounds like you've kind of
Mm.
covered a lot of different bases and you see different aspects of the world that you appreciate.
Hmm.
That's good. Did you feel like with you dabbling into Wicca, do you feel like you have any kind of um, abilities or like sixth sense or any of that kind of stuff innately within you?
I feel like every now and then I can sense. Sometimes I feel like I can sense a presence of something around me. So not really being a psychic, not being psychic or anything, not like that. But there were just times when all of a sudden it's like I will feel like that little bit of like cold air come through, like ooh, like what was that? And I'm like, did something just like go past me and I didn't and don't even think about it? So
Do you think that that has something to do with your empathic side, where since you can feel
it's a
people's
possible.
energy, that
It's
maybe you're feeling these other things' energies as well when they come
it's
and go?
possible. It's like it's just something I haven't really sat there to really think about it. Chid, I hate you. I have a
You got a
sixth
a
sense.
sixth sense.
Chid,
Oh,
I
that's
love
great.
you. That was good.
So, what is the first like supernatural experience that you remember having? Was it with your son, or was it anything when you were younger? Did you
Yeah,
have any spooky
yeah.
stuff?
It was probably with my son when he did the whole laughing bit, and I'm just like,
Did you
what?
believe in the supernatural before that
Oh
happened?
God, yeah. Oh yeah. I have always believed in that. It's like I have. It's like I know this. I know spirits are here. Trying to prove that they're there is a whole nother story. It's hard to do, but every like just the oh god, this is like actually just fairly recently. I was sitting on the couch and I happened to look away for a split second and swear to gods and goddesses all around that something of a shadowy figure like went right past me, and I'm like, what? And didn't think anything of it, just kind of like, huh, okay, cool, and then went on with business. Nothing ever happened after that. It was just like one of those really weird one-time things that could just boom. But it was just
I
kind of
see stuff
cool.
like that out of the corner of my eye sometimes as well, and it
Yeah.
just kind of like makes me like, okay, I'm pretty sure that I in fact saw something. What it is, don't know. Feeling is, I don't feel necessarily scared or whatever. So whatever that was just coming and going. But I believe
Yes,
sometimes we
Dusty, I
just
did
kind of
sing
catch
it.
a glimpse. Yeah, totally.
I did sing it in my head. I did sing it. Thanks, Dusty. Damn it. Damn it, Dusty.
Yeah, I
Pretend that
think
you
that there
didn't.
is a lot more than meets the eye all around us. That's my
Oh,
personal
absolutely.
thoughts on
Absolutely.
that, and I don't know what makes one moment different than the other, where sometimes we are able to physically catch it out of the corner of our
Mm-hmm.
eye. I have no idea what, like, if that thing is trying to be seen or if we just happen to just bump into it or something like that. I don't know,
Right.
but
You
there
just
is a
we
lot of
just
like
don't
really
know.
strange little things where I'm just like, alrighty then, not quite sure what that was, but we're moving along. And as long as I
Mm-hmm.
don't have like a really bad or negative feeling, then
Yeah.
I can kind of roll with it at that point.
Yeah.
There's been
I
very few times that
usually
I have had like bad feelings as far as like where I feel something pass through that's danger, where I'm getting like danger warnings or any kind of like
mm-hmm.
super dark, like in my waking life. There was one time I was living in Colorado. This is kind of spooky. I lived kind of close to a cemetery. I lived about maybe a half block from a cemetery. And I feel like things would kind of pass in and out sometimes. So there was different transient energies kind of coming and going. And hi, Natara. Welcome. And there was one time specifically that it really, really spooked me out. I felt like almost like the presence of what I would consider the best word I can use to describe it is kind of like a reaper or
Mm-hmm.
something that was some kind of ushering from one uh, dimension to the other. But I felt it looming behind me. I felt it in my living room behind me, and I tried to just shake it at first. I'm like, nope, okay, I'm just being silly, I'm just overthinking things, whatever. I'm watching Dexter or whatever I was watching the show. And it was such an overwhelming feeling that I had to end up like getting up, and I went and woke Dusty up, and I was like, hey, you need to help me do like a grounding of this apartment right now. Like something that I do not want here is here right now. And it didn't feel like it was like aggressive or anything, but it felt really spooky and dark and looming, like watching and waiting. And I was like, nope, we can't have this. Like I can't have whatever that is. It was just really uncomfortable to have in my presence. But it's been
Yeah.
very rare that I have had something just pass through that isn't like a resonant or something like that that has given me that kind of spooky feeling. So have you had anything like that where you felt something kind of come through that kind of gave you the willies and made you feel like
Mm-mm.
uncomfortable?
No, nothing.
Good.
And
That's good.
it's and it's funny because the little town I spent like 11 years of my life, we lived across the street from a cemetery.
And in Massachusetts, there are old cemeteries out there, huh?
Right, yeah. So we actually lived across the street from a cemetery. I used to ride my bike through it, roller skate through it. Even when it was like when it was like dusk, it's like, and you knew, and you saw the street lights pop on, you knew you had to get home because that was your curfew. I'm riding through the cemetery during that time and not even thinking anything. I wasn't scared. It was just like kind of cool. They're like, that had to be so creepy living across from a cemetery. I was like, no, it actually was kind of cool.
No. I'm a big fan
Honestly.
of cemeteries. I've been to hundreds of cemeteries throughout the world. I take photos at all of them. I love them. And most of the time, I'm just appreciating it for what it is and the beauty and the headstones and acknowledging people's
Mm-hmm.
existence and all of that. But
Oh
there's just
yeah.
been a couple times where it has not been as comfortable, where I feel like it's time to go. Whatever's here doesn't want us
Oh
here,
yeah.
or is does want us here and is far too interested in the fact that I am here right now. That's how I know it's time to go. But it was interesting living in Colorado in that place. I felt like there was just like passerbys,
Oh
and
yeah.
you living by a place like that. Did you feel like there was anybody would be like popping in and out? Was there different kinds of energies that you could pick up on since you're kind of sensitive to that kind of stuff?
They were they were very neutral. Nobody I didn't get anything that was um super sad or super angry or they're or like super happy, whatever. They were all just very negative, neutral. So I'm
It's good.
thinking to myself, it's like, are you guys kind of stuck in purgatory and you're just, this is how you are getting by? You're just like passing through? That was like the only thing that came to my mind. So I really wasn't thinking like, okay, whatever this is am I going to get hurt by this? How can I help them? I just
That's so
kept my
good.
mind
You lucked
open.
out. You lucked out for
I
that one
did.
because you know a lot of people that are sensitive have had varying levels of experiences in this. So I'm really happy to hear that you've had pretty neutral, like calm experiences, and you haven't had
Yeah.
anything that you have been fearful of. That's good. What about your dreams? What kind of dreams do you have?
Oh my God, where do I start? I've
Ooh,
had
good. We
like
got some
some
good stories, huh?
I've had some like real crazy things where it's been super vivid with colors. Um and I can't really and there it's like usually the day at the when I wake up in the morning, I can remember a little bit of them. And I'm like, what the hell was that about? It's like they don't make sense to me. It is the weirdest thing
It's weird
and
how we
everything.
don't know that we're dreaming a lot of times in the moment when things are so fucking bizarre and don't make sense. You'd think your mind would kick in and be like, oh, okay, I'm obviously dreaming because this giraffe has five heads and it's purple and covered in glitter and it's flying. And I have no idea how that could be possible. You know, like shit gets so weird
Mm.
sometimes. But we just, our dream mind just kind of takes it as like, oh, yeah, it totally makes sense. And then later on when we're awake, we're like, what the fuck kind of craziness was that? So you do have like real surreal type of shit that just seems like it doesn't make sense in the real world.
Yeah, it's just like real great. And then sometimes it's like I have like friends are in these dreams as well, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is this supposed to mean? I don't get it. And every every now and then my mind does wander to the day when my existence is done. And I'm not going to lie, I'm scared. That's probably the one thing that scares me is the day I die. That's the one thing I'm scared of. I'm not
What are
afraid
you
to admit
fearful
that.
of?
Just like, how am I going to go? Like,
So
how
it's
it's
more
like,
the physical aspect of your physical body and how
hmm
that's going to
yeah,
transpire. That's what gives you
yeah,
the anxiety about it.
yeah. And I sit there just like, okay, I need to stop thinking about this. Okay, turn the brain off. We're done.
Okay. You know, I've thought about that so much and I'm not afraid of actually dying and moving forward to whatever the next step is, but I really do hope that it's in some way a peaceful transition physically.
Right.
You know,
I
like
hope so too.
obviously nobody would want something like horrible and painful and all of that, but just to think about every single person that has ever existed before us, every single person has gone through this. And it's
Oh yeah.
all been like a grab bag of like, you never know how it's going to be. It's different for everybody, but that's something that I feel like kind of brings solidarity to us and the human race in general, because we all have an out at some point and we all
Hmm.
have to experience that. So even though, well, of course, we don't want it to be painful or traumatizing or what have you, and that's a
Right.
naturally fearful thing to look forward to, it's kind of a special thing that we all get to experience this, this unexplainable experience and then move on to
Yeah.
whatever it is that's next, which nobody actually really fully knows. We all have a
Yeah.
bunch of ideas, but nobody can say for sure. So,
Yeah. And Dusty, great, good question that you're asking me. Honestly, I really didn't pull any practices with having with the blending of Catholicism and Wicca. I really didn't use anything. Um, because I wasn't sure how to like really incorporate it. Like if I wanted to go to say like go to a cemetery and to visit a friend's grave or a relative's grave, it's like I wasn't sure. It's like, okay, how do I start the conversation with them? And thinking with starting the conversation, to me, that's the church side talking. And do I keep my hands planted on the ground for the whole um Wicca feeling, to have the ground like be this energy to help me? I didn't, it's like it was I was supposed to do that? I didn't know. So um so I really didn't pull anything from that. I just went I just, for me, it's more the ideals of how Wicca and the church can walk hand in hand and not be um and have no hatred between the two. But it's a good, but I do thank you for that question. That's it's like I had, because I've been staring at this. I'm like, oh my god, how do I answer this one? I'm trying to think. It's like, did I do anything? And then nothing came to mind.
you know what? That's all right. That's all right. Whatever it is in the moment that you need, maybe some things will
Yeah,
have you pull from more of your, your church background, and then maybe some things,
yeah,
that earthy side will come through. Maybe it just
yeah.
depends on the moment, and rather than you creatively making this crossover, it's just
That's
what
over.
you feel in
Exactly,
that moment. Cool.
exactly.
That's pretty fair. That's pretty good. There's so much hatred for what the church doesn't understand in a lot of ways.
Right.
And, having all the, the witch trials and persecutions and all of this stuff, when it's just things that
Yep.
people don't understand. It's nice
Mm-hmm.
to know that somebody that does still believe in the basic ideals um, of that system that's been set up can still see that, hey, like, I'm going to take certain parts of this, but I'm not claiming that that's all that there is. There's more to the story than you're
Right.
getting just from one. uh, Honestly, that goes with anything that we just see from one angle. We're closing off and missing out on a whole other reality that can be
Oh
there
yeah,
as well.
absolutely, absolutely.
Which is why I personally am not a fan of organized religion, of
Hmm.
claiming one very specific sect of things just because it's closing off so many other ideas and so many other possibilities. I don't care what people believe, whatever gives you comfort, it's good with me. I have no desire to tell anybody what they should and should not believe in their life. But if you're believing
Same here.
something so wholeheartedly that you are not open to other ideas, then that's where I'm like, man, I feel like you're kind of messing up. We exist in this world, and this world is so multidimensional, and there's so many different angles of
Oh yeah.
things. And for anybody to claim that they have the answers for all of it, regardless of what side you're on, it doesn't even matter. Nobody can claim to know the truth. So being
Yeah.
open minded is really important. But a lot of the religious institutions completely fight against being open minded. You're not supposed to be open minded. You're supposed to believe exactly what they tell you. Do not ask questions. Just accept it for what it is and move
Yeah.
along.
Nope.
And
Sorry.
those of
That's
us.
not me.
Yep.
I need to
That's
be
what I was
open.
gonna say. It seems like you were not down with that. You're like, okay, I
No.
get certain aspects, but you are going to
That's not.
use
No.
your mind and your creativity and think about how things can be done differently.
Yep.
So I give you a lot of credit for that. So yeah, Dusty says, I got you. That makes sense. It's more of an understanding of how the universe works rather than a
Rather than a
practice.
practice.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. That makes sense. So in your
Hmm.
daily life, do you have any kind of little like mantras or any kind of like meditative things that you do? Is there anything that you do to connect yourself with that, or you're just now more aware?
I'm a little bit more aware, but I truly believe the one thing I love to tell, I like to say, it's like, be fierce, be fearless, stay strong. Boom. That's it. Those three things.
Where do
It's
you
like,
conjure your strength from? Does your strength come from within yourself, or does it come from an
yeah,
outside source?
no,
Good.
from
Awesome.
within. Yeah. I have been through some rough, bad stuff in my life because of an ex, and I've had to grow from that. To this day, I still have a problem with accepting compliments. I
Do
still
you?
have this big problem. Um, because he had told me, "Oh, it's like if we ever break up, no other man's gonna want you. No one ever will ever think you're pretty. Blah blah blah." And I'm like saying to myself, "Then why are
Rude.
you with me?" I'm like, "Then why are you with me?"
Yeah.
We were off and on for 5 years, and I was
Ugh.
so glad when I said goodbye to him.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
felt huge weight
Imagine.
lifted off of me, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. But yet he still had that emotional mental abuse still attached. So I hear it, and this was like over 30 years ago. I mean, come on, 30 years later, I'm still dealing. It
Trauma, man,
just
it
doesn't.
sticks with people. People don't
It
realize
does.
how much of an effect that their words and energy can have on somebody else. I mean,
Yeah.
I I feel sad for you that that
Mhm.
was how somebody treated you and that that
But that's
stuck with you after
okay.
all this time.
But I do believe in karma, and karma did come around and got him in the end. He's still alive. The last I heard, Roxy, you're gonna laugh. Last I heard, my ex is living in Vegas at a men's shelter. That was the last I heard.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What a catch. What a fucking
Uh-huh.
catch, huh?
Yeah, he's got two grown daughters and an ex-wife. I'm still happily married. Who
Hmm.
do you think won this one?
I'm going to go ahead and say you.
And like I said, karma came around and got him. Bit him right in the ass.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
put out shitty energy. What do you expect to get back? You know, gonna get shitty
Oh,
return
Roxy,
on that.
thank you. You're beautiful inside and out too there, kiddo. The fact that I just called Roxy kiddo, and I'm like, well, I am old enough to be her mom. Damn. Did I just say that out loud? I did. Well, hey, come on. Her dad and I are roughly same age. He's younger than me, not by much.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm closer to Ryan's age than I am Roxy's age. It's funny. It's so funny.
Yeah. That
But
man
you know,
just ain't right.
at that point,
Exactly, Chid. He's not.
yeah,
He's not right.
Yeah. Yeah, but at that point, age, it's so funny how things like even out as we get older. Like when we're younger, an age gap is a huge difference. Like if somebody was like, oh, you're a freshman and I'm a sophomore, and it's like one fucking year. Sometimes it's like 8 months
Big
a
deal.
difference. It's not even that much, but at the time it makes such a big difference. Or if somebody's in 8th grade and you're a senior, that's like different fucking world. It's a totally different world. But now, as we get older, it's like that age gap seems to not make as much of a difference. It's just maturity and, the life experiences that we have. And that age doesn't even matter at that point.
Right.
Oh, Steve.
Age is just a freaking
Steve
number.
Scott. Yay. I'm glad you're here.
Age is
and
just
Steve
a freaking
Scott's
number.
I'm like, yep, and I'm older than you.
I know.
Yay, I'm happy to see you, Mr. Steve. Welcome
Yeah,
to
a
the
lot of
party.
people have a hard time believing how old I am. They're like, "You're what?
I
I
never
thought
would've
you
guessed.
were like I thought you were early 30s, late 20s." I'm like,
If I
"Love
would have
you."
had to guess, I would have guessed about my age, give or take a couple years. I'm 40, so I would have guessed maybe like 38 to maybe
I got
42 or something.
I have gotten 40, and I'm like, "Okay, you're close to what my real age is." I go, "But bring it up." They're like, "No way, you can't be 50. You're 51." I'm like, "Mm-hmm." They're like,
Honestly, people don't see it coming with
"Damn."
me either. I look really young, and a lot of people are just totally confused when they find out how old that I am. They're like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it's true. I know. I look kind of young. I
Girl,
have a youthful abundance."
I wouldn't have put you at 40. I would have put you at early 30s. Seriously.
Yeah. So I feel like we each got like about a 10 years. People think we're about 10 years younger
Younger
than
than
we
what
are.
we are.
I'll
It's
take it.
called, it's, I believe in two things. Mostly, it's your genetics. If you have a good genetic background, then it's going to
It's
stay
true.
with you.
Yep.
Also, and I do take care of my face. I protect this. I cleanse it. I moisturize it. I toner, serum. I gotta still look good. No wrinkles yet, kid. Still looking good.
That's amazing. I do not take care of my face worth a shit because I'm too lazy. But
Yeah.
you know what? It's working so far, so that's
Yeah.
cool.
If it
Whatever.
ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of what I was thinking. My mom's always been a big moisturizer and everything, and she looks
Yeah.
really young for her age. But I'm just too
So does my
lazy, so I'm
mom.
like, we'll just see what happens. And it's funny
My
because
mom
most
is
people
70.
from the outside can't see all the little wrinkles, but I'm
Right.
really blind. So when I put my makeup on, I have to, well, my glasses off, I have to have the mirror like very close to my face to
Right
see.
there.
So
Right
I'm
to the
right up in
face.
my shit and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, look at me. And no one else can even
Yep.
see it. And I'm like, don't you see my wrinkles? And they're like, no. I'm like,
No.
oh, cool. All right. That's good. I guess I'm more sensitive about it, because I'm
Yeah.
seeing it
When
so
we
close
see
up.
it, when we say it, we're like, "Oh my God, what is this?" But what if anybody else is like, "No, I don't see it." It's like, okay, good. That's all that matters is that you don't see it.
Yeah.
My mom's 76 and she looks like she's supposed to be my age.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, your genetics are top notch then. Yeah, my
Yep,
mom's
indeed they are.
69. She'll be, no, sorry, 68. She'll be 69 at the end of this month. So
So I'm like,
she looks
thanks for
really
the
young.
thanks for the
People
good
have no
genes, mom.
idea. Yeah, when she
And
talks
I'm
about her kids at work or whatever, and they're like, oh, how old are your kids? And she's like, oh, my son's whatever, 34 or something, and my daughter's 40. They're like, no fucking way. Like, they can't even believe
Yep.
it. So that makes her feel good, where she's like, people can't even believe I have a 40-year-old daughter. I'm like, oh, good for you. So, but yeah, it's so funny where, like, I feel like maybe long ago, age was much more apparent, I think, because of the lifestyles that everybody led. Like you
Oh
did
yeah.
things in a very specific fashion. You had
Oh
children in
yeah.
your 20s or whatever. And then,
Yep.
by 30s, you were like, baking all the cookies for everybody or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
like, I feel like there was a little bit more of a structured, like, regimen of age where you could
Yeah, there
tell what
was.
age people were. And people back in the, I don't know, 40s, 50s or whatever, they
Yeah,
wouldn't dare
that's
dress like the youth. They dressed like a fucking woman at that
yeah.
point. And I'm like, I'm wearing a t-shirt with some space on it and I've got rainbow dreadlocks, like I don't have to follow a specific kind of rule.
Yeah.
You're this age, you can't do things anymore because you're this age. And if anybody ever has anything to say about that, I will just tell them to go fuck themselves because I will be
same
like
here.
this until the end, We'll just be
Exactly.
like this as long as I mean, look at Betty White. Betty White doesn't give a fuck.
The woman's 99. God bless her. Keep her alive. Make her let her hit 100, please.
Yep.
Let her live.
Oh, and you know what? Actually, on Monday, was it this Monday or maybe last Monday? On the podcast, we talked about an article which I absolutely loved. Somebody went to the Queen, and they were like, "We have it's like the Oldies Award or whatever. I forgot exactly what they called it, but it was basically like Old Person of the Year, and it's this magazine." And they find like old person of the year. They want to award them this award for being a badass old person. And they presented it to the Queen. And she was like, thank you very much, but I am regretfully like declining because I believe that you are only as old as you feel, and I do not feel like I fit the parameters in order to take this old person award. So I wish you luck finding somebody that fits your parameters better. And that was just the best answer I've ever heard. She is 90. What is she? 99, I think, as well. 98 or whatever.
No, she was young. She was younger than Prince Philip. He was 99.
Okay, so she's 95 or something. Oh no, she's 90 something. Yeah, she's pretty old. Yeah, exactly. But I thought that was so cute, where it's like you're only as old as you feel. So.
Exactly.
I think it's cute. I'm going to be like Steven Tyler when I'm a senile citizen.
Yeah, she's 95. She's 95.
95. Good Lord.
And she still looks good. What's her secret? I want to know. What is her secret?
She's so cute. But it's true. She's very youthful in her appearance. And she doesn't feel like 95. That's the kicker, is that when people get older, their bodies get older. And we tend to see older people as old people. When they get to a certain point, grandpas, great grandpas, whatever, we just see them as like, right. Oh, look at this cute little old person. But that person a lot of times doesn't feel much different than when they were in their 30s. If you ask just about any super old person, how old do you feel? Most of them usually say sometime in their 30s. That's a pretty common answer for people that are really old. How old do you feel? My own father, which this makes a lot of sense for anybody that's met my father. I asked him how old he feels, and he said 15. And I believe him because he acts about that age a lot of times, and he's 69 years old. So it's just interesting that we end up having these masks that get put on with our gray hair or white hair and the wrinkles and all of that stuff. And people just kind of dismiss people as just being an old person, but they tend to forget all the things that this person went through and all the trials and tribulations and all the youth that they did experience. And, they just kind of get chucked in the corner as just like, oh, they're just an old person. And it's so sad because there's such a wealth of knowledge and information and history, and people tend to forget about that. So I want to be a wealth of knowledge and history when I get that age. I really hope somebody picks my brain. I'm not going to have grandkids or anything, so I hope somebody else's grandkids come and ask me some questions when I'm old again.
Yeah, there you go.
Send your kids over. I'll tell them some tales. Back in the 80s.
Yeah, back in the 80s. The what? Never mind.
Yeah, back when I was in high school, we had a beeper. You don't even know what a beeper is, do you?
Oh, I had a pager. Absolutely had a pager in my early 20s. Hell yes. I remember
and it's
that.
stuff like that people aren't going to remember anymore. It's going to be gone. As soon as we're dead, that shit's gone.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to remember that. It's going to be iPad or bust, It's totally strange. I grew up around my great-grandparents, and my one great-grandmother was born in a time when much of the world was ruled by emperors and kings. Wow.
Oh, yes. Toth has told me this story. I have heard that story.
So interesting. Yeah, when I was your age, Netflix came in the mail.
Oh, my God. Roxy,
That's a good one, Roxy.
yes.
That's so true.
Oh
Yeah,
my
and back in high
God.
school, we kept change for the payphones. That's how I would buy my cigarettes. I would
Payphones.
stand outside of the
Wow.
mall, and I'd be like, "Hey, can I have a quarter to call my mom? Hey, can I have a quarter to call my mom?" And I would ask enough people, and cigarettes were less than $2, so I'd have to get 8 quarters. So I'd have to ask 8 people for a quarter to call my mom, and then I would have to go find somebody who looked cool and be like, "Hey, can you buy me a pack of cigarettes?" And I'd give him 8 fucking quarters and tell him to keep the change. And those days are long gone because you can't
Oh my
scam people
God.
like that anymore. Nobody will believe you. Could I have a quarter to call my mom? They're like, fuck off right now. And you would need a roll of quarters, literally, to get a pack of cigarettes right now.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
It blows my mind how the price of the cigarettes have gone up in so
Dude.
many years.
Oh my God. Living on the West Coast too. It's atrocious. It's so bad. They're like almost $12 a pack right now with tax. And they were $1.67 or $1.72 or whatever when I was younger, you know, like holy shit.
God.
Yeah.
Dang.
So, and I used to say when I was younger, if they ever get to $5 a pack, I'm done. Because this is ridiculous. I won't let them take advantage of me. I will never pay more than $5 a pack, and I'm paying $12 a pack. Like
oh, good night, Chad. Sleep well.
Good night, Chad. We're so happy that you were here.
Mwah.
It is so nice to have you.
Sleep well, bud.
We love you.
Next time, Tim's Run. We need to do Tim's Run, bud.
Oh, thank you so much for the bits. I appreciate it. You're so
Yay,
sweet.
biddies!
You're the #1 bit giver, and I appreciate it. I don't even have to eat worms to get chidbits. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Chidbits.
Yeah, chidbits. It's like a tidbit, but it's a chidbit. Yeah, I live in Washington where they like to tax everything they can. It's true. It's true. It's fucked up. But, you know, I get it. They're trying to get people to stop smoking, so I can't say that I blame them. 23 years going strong.
You're like, I'm
good.
still here. You're like, I'm still here. Still kicking.
I wonder what my voice would be like if I hadn't smoked for this long. Because I have a very raspy speaking voice and a singing voice. Which honestly bodes well for me because I like having a fucking like punk rock kind of voice.
Right.
But I bet my range would be way more badass if I didn't smoke so much. I bet it would be probably a lot better. Probably. But I can still do a pretty Wicked Maynard scream, man. I can fucking pull that off with the rasp and all of it.
But here's the thing. Some of the great singers of the past actually were smokers.
It's true.
Believe it or not.
It's true story.
Frank Sinatra, prime example.
Yeah. There you go.
Dean Martin, another example.
And they didn't have to have a lot of range, you know? They just like did their thing.
They didn't.
And they're fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. I'm not mad about it. It's good.
Yeah. So it's like you might be a smoker. I guess if you've trained your voice for so long and being a smoker, you can kind of know how your breathing should be when you need to sing and like how you like exactly where are you supposed to get the breath from and whatnot.
Yep.
And everything.
You know,
so that makes
honestly, before COVID happened, I was good to go. I was in a band, so I was singing all the time, and I host karaoke once a week. I was singing all the time. I was always singing, so I was like in the zone. And now I'm like, oh fuck, if I try to go actually sing again, like I wonder if my range is like severely limited. Because what am I just singing in the fucking shower in my car? It's not the same as singing at top volume, you know, with full power. I haven't been able to sing with full power for far too long, and I'm curious to see if I'm gonna need a little bit of extra time to work back up to that. But I can still fucking scream though. That I can do no matter what.
I actually sing full power in my car because nobody else hears it.
You know what? I try, but because my diaphragm is compressed in the car, and it makes a huge difference, at least for me, for the way that I sing. Me singing at full power in the car versus standing up and having like full breath and full fucking like chest power, it's like a totally different thing. I've almost passed out in the car before trying to sing at full power where I don't have like enough.
Dusty, I knew we got along for a reason. Yes.
Yes.
Dusty's a car singer too. I knew we got along for a reason.
Yep. I love singing in the car. It's so fun.
It is. So, especially when you sing in a Crimson Riot song at like as loud as you can and no one's there to hear it.
Yeah. What's some of your favorite music? So I know you're the Empress of rock and roll, dubbed that initially. What's some of your favorite bands? What do you love?
I'm very much an 80s girl. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm an 80s music's kind of gal.
I dig it.
Because the 80s had the best music out there.
I fucking love 80s music. I listen to it all the fucking time. So I'm on your team with that. What's some of your favorites though? What do you really love?
Would you actually believe it's like all the dance music in the 80s?
Like what? Like everybody dance now, like that kind of shit.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Another night, another dream, but always
do.
Okay.
So basically, and then it's like, because when my husband and I, when we started dating, at the time, like the movie New Jack City was out, so they had that whole New Jack swing style of music, kind of like R&B, hip hop, and rap kind of blended all together, which made it dance. Basically, even like club music and stuff like that. Madonna, definitely. Madonna was Madonna was like one of my big idols, but I didn't follow the trend at the time when she came out. I didn't do the lace gloves. I did maybe the rubber bracelets, but not dressing like her. I didn't go through that phase. I never went through any phases during the 80s with the music to follow whoever was the big pop star of the time.
Okay.
I never did that.
I love that shit. There's a photo of me when I was a kid. I was probably 7, and I was doing like a kind of a cross, like it was more Cyndi Lauper, Madonna fusion type of thing with my hair all teased and the fucking bangles and the little like fishnets and the whole thing, man. Like I loved it. I wanted my name to be changed to Tiffany when I was younger, and my mom said no.
Why? Did you think you were alone now?
I'll
show myself out.
Tiffany's
I'm going to show myself out on that one. I'll walk myself out. I know where the door is.
Debbie Gibson back in the 80s, man. I used to make up like dance routines to Electric Youth and shit. It was good.
Fun fact about Debbie Gibson. I'm 3 months older than her.
Really?
Yes. She and I were both born in 70.
BFFs with Debbie.
I could have been. Could have been. Oh wait, that's a Tiffany song. Could
have been.
See, I make music jokes. Roxy gets them. She appreciates my music jokes. She appreciates them.
I love it. Oh, Wiccan, you're here. Fuck yeah. Night Wiccan has entered the room. I am so glad you were here.
I have
and
seen.
We're talking about 80s music right now. You came in at the right time if you care about 80s.
I have seen Debbie Gibson in concert. Not gonna lie.
You guys are so lucky. You and Steve Scott. Lucky.
I've seen New Kids on the Block twice. I've seen. I don't take that back. Technically, I've seen Debbie twice. I've seen Tiffany. 2 years ago, me and a couple of girlfriends, New Kids on the Block, were touring. It was their mixtape tour.
Yes, the mixtape tour. There's another one coming this June.
Yeah.
I want to go.
Rick Astley is on this tour. I need to go.
Never gonna give.
I need to go.
Give you up.
I want to get Rick rolled so hard.
Yep. And Salt and Pepper, I think is in that one.
Are still sounding amazing. And they're probably pushing late 50s, early 60s. If that.
Shit.
But yeah.
I'm down. I was really sad that I missed that previous mixtape tour.
It was
I really wanted to
so
go,
good.
and for whatever reason, I didn't end up getting tickets for it. But that's really cool that you got to go see that. So, who's your favorite new kid? Who's your new kid?
It was Jonathan.
Jonathan, really?
He
needed some fans, so that's good.
He was the quiet one, and turned out he was the gay one. And I'm like, it's fine. I'm okay with it. Then as I got older, then I was like in my 20s, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, the big battle there. It's like, sorry, I'm a Backstreet girl. Kevin's my favorite.
Okay, see, I know nothing
Okay.
about Backstreet Boy NSYNC thing. I was already like out beyond that at that point, so I missed that whole thing. But New Kids, that was my fucking era.
So here's the thing. It's actually maybe because New Kids on the Block and the Backstreet Boys actually did a collaboration for a song. They actually did tour together. Now, the reason why when you asked me who was my favorite New Kid, I said Jonathan. 1, because he was the quiet one. 2, he was also the oldest one. With the Backstreet Boys, Kevin, he's the quiet one. He's also the oldest. He and I are born the same year. His birthday's this month, if I remember. No, his birthday was October. I don't remember what day in October, but I know
their fucking birthdays.
I'm pathetic, Sammy, because I have
cute.
all this.
It's really cute.
But
it's nice that you like the quiet ones, the ones that sneak into the background.
Yeah, the ones that just really don't say much. Now, come February, I'm gonna be seeing Ghost with Volbeat in concert. I'm
Ghost. That'll be awesome. That'll be super cool.
Love Ghost. They are fucking amazeballs. I'm gonna say that they are amazeballs, and I have their whole channel they're on Spotify. It's like anytime I want to listen to it, it's like, boop, done. Let's go.
That's awesome. Now that concerts are coming back, it's fucking amazing. I'm so glad that concerts are back. I had 5 concert tickets for 2020, and they were 4 out of 5 of my favorite bands ever. And the 5th one, I still absolutely wanted to see, but it was like my favorite fucking bands. And 2020 ruined all of that, which was super fucking sad. But here we are, back again. I get to see Bad Religion in a couple weeks, actually. I'm super excited about that. That is going to be awesome. They're one of my favorite bands. So,
Roxy,
good.
Don't feel bad that you don't get them. A lot of people don't. A lot of people just say, well, what are they about and everything. The fact that they try to do the whole religious thing, but make it like a demonic version of religion, so to speak. I guess that's the way to describe them. But their music is just like so good. Whoa.
Dude, that's Fremont New Year's Eve. Bobby Brown. Oh, Bobby.
Cone Loaf, Vanilla Ice, and the Village People. I think we need to go to Vegas for New Year's.
God damn it.
I need to go to Vegas for New Year's.
God, that sounds amazing. Village People, I could do without the Village People as far as their music goes, but I bet it would be a really, really fun show to watch. I'll give it that. But I'm not a disco-y person, but wow. Yeah, as far as Ghost goes, I haven't listened to him too much, but what I have heard I think is fun. I just never really got necessarily into it.
Yeah,
but look
and
at
that's
Steve
okay.
Scott
And
going
it's
to see
like
the fucking Eagles this Friday?
Yeah.
What the hell? I didn't know the Eagles were coming. I would totally go see the Eagles in 2 damn seconds. I didn't even know that was happening, or I would have got tickets. But
with those words, what's the odds of them getting arrested? Oh my God.
Yeah, the Village People, that is a weird random one-off with that list of things. Bobby Brown, Tone Loc, Vanilla Ice, and the Village People? They're playing Friday and Saturday.
It's like, okay.
Seattle. Fuck, I didn't even know. And I'm working both those nights.
Yeah, because you've got...
Damn it.
You've got 3 of those acts from the 80s and the Village People from the 70s.
Yeah.
80s, 90s. So basically, you're covering 3 decades. You're covering 70s, 80s, and 90s with that lineup.
Well, they're like, hey, old folks, you guys will appreciate all this old music. We're just gonna smoosh it in. It's totally fine. You know?
Absolutely.
But yeah, Eagles. Absolutely. God, I would have loved to have gone and seen the Eagles. I love the Eagles. Yeah. My dad loved the Eagles growing up, and that was like one of my dad's favorite bands, and I just grew up loving them. And I've never seen them And that would be great. And they're all getting really old, you know, so I better go see them when I can. Maybe next time they come around, I'll have to go.
Even though they did lose Glenn Fry like a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, which sucks because his voice is so perfect. Like, who's going to sing Tequila Sunrise if you don't got
exactly?
What
Thank
are
you.
Do, you know? Like,
and who's going to sing
so many Glenn Fry songs. But I am more of a fan of Don Henley. I'm way more of a Henley fan than Glenn Fry vocals. So if we lost Henley...
Oh, his son fills it? Okay, cool. Oh my God, the day we lose Don, I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be sad the day Don goes.
Him. I love him. I think he's fantastic. Ever since I was a kid, I always loved him. I always thought he was great.
The Eagles are just one of those bands that I think almost everybody can relate on, no matter what your age. Because what's the one song everybody knows? Hotel California. It's their most popular.
Yep. And it's a great song. And that whole album is fantastic. The Hotel California album it's a great album. It always bothered me when I watched The Big Lebowski, because he's like, I just hate the fucking Eagles, and I'm like, oh man, like, you had me until you said you hate the Eagles, dude. Like, you like the Creedence, seriously? Fantastic, but like, how you gonna hate on the Eagles, man? Like, come on, don't hate on the Eagles. Just saying.
Oh, they're playing the whole album?
Motherfucker. You're just rubbing salt in the wound. And the second set is Greatest Hits. Oh, my God. I'm going to have to call in sick. I hope nobody from my work is listening right now. Damn. It's my first bartending shift on Friday. We just opened my restaurant. It literally, opening night was yesterday. And this is my first weekend there. So there's nobody to cover. Like, it's not possible. I'll have to catch him next time. But that sounds amazing. I hope somebody records it, because I will totally watch it. Steve, you got to record it for me. For sure.
Somehow. Record something somehow.
I know. At least record something for me. Wasted Time. That's my favorite Eagles song. So if they play that. Or actually, Victim of Love. That's really my favorite. Hotel California is nationally known as the standard when performing tests on audio equipment. At least once a week, we are subjected to Hotel California on loop for 8 hours. Shut up. That's crazy. Wow. Why would that... Why do you need to test audio equipment for 8 fucking hours and the same song on loop? That's intense. I did not know that. Thank you for that weird fact. Wicked. That's really weird, dude. Oh, they don't allow cameras. They'll take your phone away. That's okay.
What? Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. I can give you my top 3 favorite Eagles songs. Okay. Hotel California. Can't Tell You Why. And Take It Easy.
All 3 fantastic songs.
And all sung by 3 different members. Hotel California is Henley. Can't Tell You Why, Timothy B. Schmidt. And Take It Easy is Glenn Fry.
Fucking A. I like that. Covering all the bases. I gotta say, Victim of Love, that's gotta be my favorite. That's my favorite one. And it's not a common karaoke track that they have at most karaoke places, but every now and then they have it. And that's my fucking jam. Like, if I see they've got that on karaoke, I'm like, give me the fucking microphone. Like, I get into that shit. That's a rockin' song. Actually, that's one that I had told Roxy that they should do on the show, because that is such a rockin' song that I think, I think they would nail that song super hard. It's so good.
Yeah. It's so good. I think they did Take It Easy one time. I think it was full band, too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, but Victim of Love just rips it up, man. That's a good ass.
Oh my God, I forgot about Desperado. Yes, that's such a good one too.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love all of it. Okay, so that's good. I'm glad to know that you are an 80s lover, and it's funny that you love a lot of the like late 80s, early 90s dance stuff, because I grew up in South Florida. And in South Florida, we had a very distinct musical tastes, I guess, that were very popular at the time, which I didn't realize was as regional as it was until I moved away. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because like when I was younger, like I don't know, you go into the grocery store or the bank or like whatever, any establishment, and it would be like rhythm is a dancer, it's like all that like dancing
Yeah.
shit, which to me it was just like, okay, well it's the early 90s, and this is just what
Yeah.
is the thing. Come to find out, it's very specific South Florida thing with the Miami bass music mixed in,
Yeah.
which South Florida, who knew? And then I moved away and
Yeah.
I was sad that people
Because
didn't
you're
know.
also getting you're also getting the influence. You're getting the Latin influence coming in from Cuba and Puerto Rico as well, mixing in down in Miami and South Beach area. So you're getting that little blend
Yeah.
come in as
But
well.
it's so clubby out there. Miami was just so fucking
It
clubby that a
is.
lot of that club music, it bled out from the club scene and was just a
Yep.
more common music that you would hear here and there. I mean, I used to go to the roller skating rinks all the time, and that shit was like, that was standard shit. But after I
Mhm.
moved away, I realized that like not as many people actually had that unless you were looking for it, I guess, at the time. And some people
Yeah.
still have no idea some of these songs that are like burned in my fucking brain. And I still listen to that shit, like, especially house cleaning. My favorite house cleaning soundtrack is like CNC Music Factory or Snap Radio or whatever, where it plays all the shit like that. Like, I love it.
Yes.
Corona, all of that stuff. Like, I still listen to a lot of that shit. Even like, it's not the same, but like Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation and shit like that. Like, that's another house cleaning
Yes.
soundtrack. It's my fucking jams. But I feel really old sometimes listening to that, where I'm like, this was like a long time ago. It's like 30 years old. And most people don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, shit.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
okay. It's okay.
You can talk
Beth.
about that music with me anytime. I'll be like, yeah, I remember that one. Oh yeah, I
That's
remember that one.
awesome.
It's like I'm old enough to remember that. I mean, you want to
That's
talk
so
disco?
awesome.
Sure, we'll talk disco. I remember that.
Good.
I
I'm
grew up on
glad
that.
I'm glad you remember. But there's that little age gap between us where like when I was like a kid going to the roller skating rinks as like, in 5th grade or whatever, you were like already an adult
High
at
school.
that point, So you
Yeah,
were, or
almost
you
high
were like
schoolish.
going to the clubs
Almost.
or whatever. So it's just that like
Yeah.
that age gap. But at least we were both there, man. We were both there.
We were there. We
And
knew.
it's so
We
cheeseball
knew.
listening to it. Like I know it's not like good music. Like it's not good quality necessarily music, but it's so fucking nostalgic to me. I love it. It gets me
Oh my
amped
God,
up.
Steve, you're right. Yeah, when your favorite music from high school is now the oldies, considered oldies. Yep.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like a classic rock station. Here's Pearl Jam and Nirvana, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill everybody.
Kill you. That's really.
Hey, Abyss Watcher, welcome. It is nice.
Hi,
to have
Kiba. Kiba's from my community.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that you popped in.
Because I posted it in my communities in my Discord that I was going to be doing this tonight. That explains why my viewers are now becoming your viewers.
I'm so glad.
They want to see
Welcome.
me.
It is so nice to have some Jodi supporters in here. It's fantastic.
Yay!
And the worlds collide right now. We have worlds colliding. Oh yeah, Fact Foo Fighters is now being played on classic rock stations, but they're still putting out records.
God.
That baffles me. That's true.
Oh.
It's so strange.
Oh, good
Time
Lord.
moves so fast. Like all of a sudden, I'm looking back and I'm like, "What happened? Where are we? Where am I? What's happening? What's my name? I'm lost. Apparently,
What's my
I'm
name
lost.
again? What's my name again?
Yeah. So, what's your favorite concert that you've ever been to? What is your most favorite show that you have ever? I know it's not easy. We're asking the hard questions here tonight.
I know. Oh,
everybody in chat, please tell me, what do you consider your favorite show that you've ever been to?
I would probably have to say oh God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You don't make this easy. Okay, I've got. Okay, I can give you my top 5.
Give me top 5. Give me top 5.
Give me top 5.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Metallica.
Sick.
Kiss.
Okay.
U2, Pat Benatar, and Heart.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Talk about an eclectic range of music.
Yeah. 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 Sure. You know, even though like you two, I'm like meh, Kiss, meh. I bet they would be fantastic live shows. Like I would
They
take the
were,
opportunity to see
I
them because of how crazy that'd be.
I have seen U2 4 times within 3 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
really? Dude, Steve Scott said he's seen all of them. So
Yeah.
you guys are on the same team there.
We're on the same page. I saw
Yeah.
like what was it, 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. U2 did the Joshua Tree tour to celebrate the big anniversary for that one. And that show was amaze balls. I was blown away from that show. I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
Wow.
And they did the album from track one to the very end. So they did the whole album
Cool.
from,
I
they
love when
went down the
bands do
whole
that, when
list.
they go through the whole album because they know that
Hmm.
that's what people actually really want to hear in that moment.
Yeah.
And they know everybody knows exactly which track is coming next because we've listened to them a million fucking
Yeah.
times. I really dig when they do full albums like
Yeah.
that. It's good.
Because that same tour, during that same show, they did some tracks off the Pride album and everything. Everybody knows the song Bad. Everybody just knows the words to that one. It's almost like it's the anthem of sorts, because you just hear the whole crowd just singing it, and you're like, yeah, we all feel this song. Uh-huh. We feel it. We
It's
totally
so
felt it.
nice going to giant shows where everybody is so stoked and everybody's feeling it at the same time. People are singing along.
Mm-hmm.
Like that energy, especially being an empath, I feel it when everybody's so fucking excited. It makes me so
Yep.
happy because I'm really picking up on everybody's like excitement energy, and having
Oh
10,000 or
yeah,
20,000
absolutely.
people in a room that are all super fucking excited. I love it. That's one of the reasons why I really do like arena shows. I also really love small, intimate shows. And depending on which band, sometimes some bands I would rather see them in a small, intimate venue, but some of them for the
Yep.
elaborate stage shows, I love big stadium shows for the stage
Mm-hmm.
show as well as the amount of people that are just super pumped. And I feel like it recharges my
Absolutely.
heart batteries or
Yeah.
something like that. Like I went and saw Elton John a couple years ago. Oh my God. I did not expect that I was going to feel as emotional as I was watching that show. I like Elton John.
Oh God,
He's not my
yes.
favorite, but I've always been an Elton John
You like
fan.
the music.
Um, I like the
Yeah.
music, and there's so many songs I love by him, but he's not necessarily. I wouldn't put
Oh
him in
my
my
God,
top 10
yeah.
favorite musicians. But I was like, hey,
Yeah, same
Elton
here.
John, he's going to stop touring, and he's old, and this is my chance. This is my only chance to go see him. So I'll
Yep.
pay a reasonable amount of money to go do something that's like one of the biggest rock and roll stars ever. And I fucking cried at that show. I bet you there wasn't a dry eye in the fucking place because I did not
Probably not.
expect to have that kind of reaction. And just
Right.
him expressing his gratitude, where he's like, thank you so much, everybody. I could not be here if it wasn't for all of you. And after 50
Yep.
years, for Christ's sake, of touring, you know, like I love all of you and I will miss you. And I was just like, like I was tearing up, and fucking
It's
Scott.
like,
Oh,
stop
yeah, Steve
it.
Scott said he was there too. It was so good. It was so good. And I really felt it. So that's the really cool thing. Not only just the music, but it's the act of being in a place with so many people who actually
Hmm.
have this love, you know?
Tina Turner puts on an amazing show.
Oh, I fucking bet,
Tina
dude.
Turner, she was on fire when we saw her. Oh my God. So, so
Yeah.
good. Those legs. Legs for
Oh, I
days.
bet that was great. Yeah, Roxy,
Steve was
he
really,
did
really
play
good.
Candle in the Wind, and it was like a pin drop in there during that whole song. It was so good. But my personal favorite, Someone Saved My Life Tonight, he fucking played it. And I was like, all I want to hear. I mean, I want to hear all the rest of it, but the one song that means so much to me is Someone Saved My Life Tonight, and they played it, and it was so good. It was so fucking good. Oh, I love it. But yeah, it's amazing how music can have such an impact on us and how it can
It really
affect us in our
does.
souls, you know? Like, even if it's something cheeseball, like New Kids on the
Oh,
fucking
totally.
block or whatever, like, I hope that I get to go see this mix tour and go see New Kids on the Block. I've never seen them, and all I wanted to do when I was, 12 years old was see fucking New Kids on the Block, and it's like it's gonna have this nostalgic effect,
They put on a
even though
good
it's
show.
not great music, like it doesn't matter as much. It's just
Right.
music is so
But
special, and it has such an
they really
effect.
do a great, New Kids do an amazing show. I was very surprised. And actually having seen Alanis and Garbage together, oh, that was a really good show. I love
Oh,
that one. The
I wish I
Metallica
got to go to
show,
that.
when did we see Garbage
I
and
was gonna ask,
Alanis?
what era Metallica are we talking about?
The Black Album.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna say anything
So,
after the Black Album, I would have been like, oh man, but no, the Black Album,
yeah.
that was the last good one.
Because actually no, the tour that we saw them on, they were covering everything. But it was kind of at the time the Black Album had already come out, and then they went into the Reloaded album when
Yeah,
that one came out. Or Loaded, whatever one. Yeah, I don't think it
yeah,
was called
load and
Reloaded.
then reload. Yeah,
Loaded. So during that show, they set up the stage in the round. So there were two drum sets. It's like we had one that we could see the back of Lars, and then the other side was the front of him. So, oh, I can't remember what song they were doing, but they had the pyrotechnics. They had like the flames go up. We felt those flames. We felt the heat from that. We're like, whoa, was not expecting that. Later on in the show, like after they did like a quick um like 5 minute intermission, if that, Lars is on the other side of the stage drumming, and again the pyrotechnics go off again. We felt a little bit of the heat, but not as much as when he was like right there in front of us practically. It's like still felt it though, but it was just done so well. And I love bands
awesome.
that do, I like bands who do their shows in the round, because that way everybody
Yeah,
gets to see the
yeah.
whole thing. It's
And
just
just
so, I
pyrotechnics
just
in
think that's
general,
it's
I fucking love it. Pyrotechnics is so fucking fun. Iron Maiden, like, killed it on the stage show aspect. It's one of the best stage shows I've ever seen
mhm.
in my fucking life. And they had, like, epic proportions of pyrotechnics.
Yeah,
Like, next level. I think it's so fun. If they could get away with
yeah.
that shit, I think it's so cool.
I am very honored to say I got to see Van Halen play, and it was with Sammy.
I I also saw yeah Van Halen with
Love it,
Sammy as
love
well.
it. And
I wish I got to
it's like,
see like old Van Halen, but at least I went to the
yes, when it
Balance
was
tour in like '94 maybe, a Balance album. Van Hagar.
yeah.
It's a little
Van
cheeseball, but
Hager.
I like it. I don't care.
God,
5150 is a good one. Balance is a good one.
that's a good one.
Well,
Yep. Oh, you ate one too.
yeah, yeah.
That's another good one.
A lot of people might
They had good
disagree
stuff.
with us, but I don't care. I still think it's fun.
Yeah.
you know?
Uh, yeah.
There's purists, Van Halen
You and
purists out there.
yeah. It's like we're on the same level. It's like, yes, I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yep, yep, yep. Cool. That's good. Whew. I'm so glad.
Okay. Steve Scott, what is your favorite song off the 5150 album? I want to know. Because if I want to see if we're on the same wave.
I was at work and heard one of my coworkers casually mention it, and I literally dropped the acidified sample I was holding.
Dreams.
After confirming what I had heard, I had to step outside for a while. What was that in response to?
Hmm. Okay,
I
so
don't know
Steve
either.
said Dreams. It's a good song. It's a good one. Not my favorite off the album. My favorite is Best of Both Worlds.
It's been so long since I've heard them. I might not know 'em by song title
I want
names,
the
but
best of both worlds.
yeah, yeah,
Honey,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
know what it's worth. That
yeah.
we could have the best of both worlds. Okay, there. Now you guys have heard my vocal singing. You're welcome.
Yeah, I love it. Good. I need to revisit that. It's been a while since I've heard it. I need to revisit that and put that on my
Such a great
Spotify.
album.
Get back into it. Okay,
Such a
Wiccan,
great.
that does make
Such a,
sense about Neil Pearce passing. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough. So that being said, out of curiosity, it's talking about music and how important that it is to us. What was the biggest shock of a loss of a musical icon that you ever had? What hit you the worst?
Oh shit. Now I really gotta think this one.
For me,
Oh.
it was Chris Cornell. That really got me. I immediately burst into tears, and that is not how I usually roll. But I just immediately that got me real bad. Really
Oh,
sucks.
musicians who's oh my god. I've got a few. Um Chester Bennington was the biggest that hit me the
Really?
hardest.
Okay. That was
I
right
love Link.
after. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris died right after Chester did. Yeah, I love Linkin Park. I mean, that honestly, I knew just listening to the songs, Chester was getting his message out there for someone to hear, to listen to him. But I feel like everybody just took it as just as a song, and it's like, no, he's crying out for help. Are you not listening to the lyrics? Hello, listen to them. This man has some issues. He's he wants the help, but no one reached reached out. I felt like, and everything. And
Have
then
you
when
heard
he
about
passed, I'm
the
like,
conspiracy about Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington about them making it look like they were suicides, but not actually suicides? That there was some kind of um,
no, I didn't hear of that. I had not heard of that one.
I don't know. I don't know enough to say whether I believe or don't believe, but I think one of the things that came out was there was some like human trafficking, child trafficking type of thing going on where a lot of these musicians were presented with options of having these younger sex workers basically, and that Chester and Chris were like best friends, and they were like, this is bullshit, we're not doing this anymore, we are actually going to stand up and speak against this, and we're going to expose this ring that's going on, because this is terrible and this should not be happening. And apparently they were going to come out with that, and that's why they were both taken out very short proximity to each other. Chris, who apparently was talking to his wife earlier that day before the show about like what they were doing next week, like it didn't seem like he was depressed and not making plans for the future, and all of a
Right.
sudden he was found hung. And then Chester was super upset after the passing of his friend, and apparently was told to shut the fuck up, and for whatever reason was taking out also. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how true that is, but it was interesting hearing about that after the fact, because there's so much corruption and so much fucked up shit that is going on in
Yeah.
Hollywood and in the music industry that I wouldn't be surprised if something like that was actually based in some kind of truth, and anybody that chooses to stand up, kind of like
Hmm.
Brittany Murphy. Brittany Murphy and her husband, it was the same kind of thing where they
Yeah.
were going to come out about some kind of human trafficking type of thing, and Brittany was telling her mom before she mysteriously died, like, I'm scared, they're tapping my phones and they're listening, and like I'm really terrified because I'm trying to be a like a spokesperson for this thing, and I'm getting scared. And then she died mysteriously, and then her husband shortly after mysteriously died from the same type of thing. And it almost makes you wonder, like, if people are willing to stand up against these things, like, there's easy ways to make people disappear if you just know the right people and have enough money to make it happen, you know? So I don't know. I find that interesting that maybe there's some kind of truth behind it, or maybe they were just depressed and people didn't realize how depressed they were in that moment. I don't know, but it didn't make sense to any of their families. They were like, it doesn't make sense. So who knows? Yeah. That's a mystery. Uninspired by Mystery podcast. We don't know. It's mysterious.
Yeah. Prince's death was another one that kind of affected me. Because that was like, that was a little mysterious to me. Because it's like, when they explained what the cause of death was, I'm like, what? Wait a minute, Prince on drugs? What? Nah, that can't be right. That was just really, really, really crazy. And then after him, David Bowie's death was kind of a hard blow. Oh my
God, yes. That was a tough one. But I think as far as anybody going out of this world, I think he had the most beautiful exit that I have ever seen anybody be able to take ever. With him keeping his illness a secret, writing a complete album where the lyrics reflected what it is that he was about to go through as a message to his fans. And he wrote a complete stage show that I actually ended up seeing Lazarus in London with Michael C. Hall as the main star of it. And it was Bowie's stage show that he wrote before he died. So the fact that he left prizes for people and he gave his story in the last album, I think was so poetic, and it's the most Bowie thing ever. And that album dropped like right after he died. He put the music video out like, I think it was like the day before his birthday or something, and then he died a couple days later. Like, he held on for that shit, and that is really beautiful.
But you could tell the illness kind of had gotten him. You could see it a little bit. You could actually see that. I think, and oh my God, how could we all forget Freddie Mercury's death? I think that was another big blow to all of us as well. So, I mean, if you grew up listening to Queen, it's like Freddie makes the announcement that he's been living with AIDS, and then the next day he's dead from it. Huh? Well, like, wait a minute. He just announced it yesterday.
Wow, it was really the next day, huh? Oh, shit.
It was either the next day or like 2 days later, something like that. It was like, what? Because the last video Freddie was in, you could just see in his face how thin he was, how much weight he lost. It showed. He was sick, but he hid it for as long as he could. And then finally just said, I can't hide it anymore.
That sucks. It sucks. But you know what? The cool thing is about music is no matter how long they're with us or when they go, we have a piece of these people forever. Yep. They leave these recordings with us, and we get to carry their legacy with us, whether it be in our heads while we're just have a song stuck in our head, or in the car, or, you know, covering it in a band or whatever. Like, we get to keep their memory alive. And I think it's a real way of immortality, is being a musician, or
absolutely,
an actor or something, you know, like putting it out there to where it's documented forever, and people will continue to appreciate and listen to your music forever. It's fantastic. You know, it's really sad that we lose these people, but I think that it's amazing that they still live on. We'll still listen to it forever. And I wonder, in, you know, 200 years or 300 years or 1,000 years, if humans still are around, like, are they still going to be listening to Queen and Led Zeppelin and Nirvana? Like, I wonder, I've thought about that a lot, like thinking far in the future, if we haven't completely self-destructed by that point, what will people still be listening to? Like the classic rock, you know? Like, is that still going to be a prominent thing that humanity appreciates? Or is it all going to transition?
Right.
And is it all going to be fucking dubstep later? And we want to kill ourselves because it's all
Oh
fucking
my
dubstep
God,
or
yes.
something.
It's like, we're
You
done.
know? Yeah. Yeah, you never know. But I love how profound that music is and what touches different people, you know? Like some people,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, God, like Savage fucking Garden or some like shitty band that I think totally sucks. It's like may as well have not existed. Some people really like bond with that shit. It means a lot to
Right.
them. And I'm glad. I'm so glad. It's not for me. I don't give a shit about it, but like I'm glad that everybody kind of it's like a thumbprint, you know? We all have such a unique print of what it is that matters to us and what strikes us and gets in our hearts, you know, and the
Mm-hmm.
songs that really like stick with us.
Yeah.
So,
Because it's like, because we all have that one song from like almost every band that just means something to us in some odd fashion. It's like other people may not understand it, but it makes sense to yourself. And that's all that matters. It's like, you know what it means to you. You understand what they were like. What was it like? Were they trying to give you like a kind of message, or you listen to the lyrics over and over and over and you just try to piece it all together? It's like, okay, was this a story they were trying to tell, or was there a hidden message in this, or were they just letting out what they were feeling at the time? You don't know, but yet somehow you find that connection
yeah,
to your own life in
it's true.
a song, and it's like, yeah, I get it. I
Yeah, even
I
if
know
it's
what
not
you're
what they
talking
meant
about.
in that moment, it's what it means to us. Like it's all interpretation.
Right,
Some songs
right,
are very like straightforward where there's not a lot of room for, you know, interpretation like, you know,
exactly.
back that ass up. I'm pretty sure I know what he's talking about. You know, there's not a lot of like
Right,
interpretation with that. But well, you know, with some other stuff, like yeah, maybe it's not what they meant in their own mind by this, but it's how we take it that means the most. So it's really cool seeing how we all pick something out different and how personal that music is to each one of us, you know?
mm-hmm.
Okay, Wicked. It's so weird to me when people tell me that their favorite band is Bare Naked Ladies on that level. Like, yeah, they had some great songs, but they're your favorite band, seriously. Wiccan, that is Chris's favorite band. That's Chris's literal favorite band. And it's funny because I talked shit about Bare Naked Ladies one time, and he's like, "Whatever, that's my favorite band." He's like, "I'm gonna wear a Bare Naked Ladies shirt when we do your podcast. Fuck you." So that's kind of like a running
Oh
joke
my
between us.
God.
But Wicked, you know, I have to agree. It's interesting what some people connect with so much, where you're like, I didn't even think that band like mattered that much or whatever, but it does matter to different people, you know. Yeah,
Yeah,
back that ass up. It's extremely deep for sure. Yeah, yeah, you know, it's really cool. I think that it's very special, and the longer that we live, the more music stuff that we have that becomes integrated into a part of our lives. And you got to
absolutely.
live through the 80s in that kind of way where that was like a big
Yeah.
deal to you. And that's awesome because I was a kid during the 80s, so I remember it and it was relevant to me. But you were a teenager. That shit, when you're a teenager, like music is fucking everything. It's
Oh
everything.
God, yeah.
So actually, now I want to know, as a teenager in the 80s, what did you fucking hate? What did you think was just like the dumbest and the worst?
Oh God. Jeez. What did I think was the absolute worst? Oh.
Was there anything popular that you were like, oh my God, this is so fucking dumb?
See, the thing is, it's like the 80s was a lot of pop dance music. Rap was slowly making its way in as well. I honestly, I was gonna say during the 80s, I thought rap was like so stupid. I'm like, because rap music was actually getting the bad rep at the time. It's like, oh, rap music is only associated with gangster, like with all these gangster styles and whatnot. I'm like, that's kind of dumb, but whatever. If that's what they
It
want to
ended up
listen to, that's what they want to
transitioning
listen
for
to.
sure. Yep.
Exactly, and
Oh,
it does.
Steve Scott said
And
the same
it's
thing.
yeah. Okay, so Steve, you're only a year older than me. Good. I'm looking at that. It's like, wait, what year did you graduate? It's like, okay, you're a year older than me. Yes, Arena Rock. Oh my God, that was like when you had. See, the '80s brought out the big, heavy metal bands. So you think Quiet Riot. I mean, Metallica had already kind of started like late '70s and throughout the '80s. It's like the '90s. It's like the '80s is when they kind of got the big boost and everything. And then the hair bands came out
Oh,
during the
hell yeah.
'80s, like towards the like late '80s and whatnot. So you had that, and then once the '90s hit, it was all grunge, and I'm like, well, I'm done.
Really?
I'm like,
Not a
I'm
grunger?
done. I was done. There are some Nirvana songs I like. If I had to pick, if somebody asked me, well, who's your favorite grunge band? Alice in Chains, hands
Fuck
down.
yeah. Yeah. Honestly, grunge is my
I
like favorite genre. It's my favorite. I
mhm.
fucking love that shit. But that's just
Because
me.
honestly,
Yeah.
Jerry Cantrell's voice is just fucking amazing. Jerry's got an amazing voice.
I know. He's
So I mean,
fantastic.
so
And
did
him and
I
Lane's
mean,
voices together. Oh, it's so perfect.
oh, the it was such a beautiful, like, it was perfect harmony. The melody from one going into the other, I'm just like, this
Agreed.
was amazing. Sadly, when I saw Alice in Chains, I've seen them twice. It was after Lane's passing, after Lane had been had
Oh.
died.
I never got
So
to see
this is
them with
when
Lane, and that sucks. I'm
no.
sad about that. I miss that.
Honestly, I was kind of okay about that because I figured if we had seen them with him, I was kind of like had my own thought of what it was gonna be like. It's like, okay, like how high is he gonna be performing? That made me
You
wonder.
know, that's a
I saw
valid question. Yeah,
yeah. I saw
unfortunately.
Stone Temple Pilots. I
Sweet.
could tell
I got
Scott
to see
Weiland
those
was
guys too.
high off his ass. I could just tell he was flying high, and I'm like, "You're good, bud. I can tell.
I got to
That's
see
fine."
them twice, but I saw them once in Nashville with Aerosmith. What a weird combination, Aerosmith and
Oh my
Stone Temple
God, that is a
Pilots.
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is a weird combo.
it was totally weird, but it was fucking great. I love Stone Temple
Oh, I
Pilots. I
bet.
love that. Well, I like their old shit. Their first two albums I like, and after that, I thought that they turned really
Interstate Love
weird.
Song, baby. That's my jam.
Yep, yep. Also love. Yep.
That is my
Yeah, Core and
absolute
Purple.
favorite
Those
by
were
them.
those were the best albums, and then it started to get silly to me, where I was like, okay,
Yeah,
so you guys,
it did.
you're on the train now. You're getting off the train. Okay, I don't know where the train's
Yeah.
going, but I'm not going on it with you.
Yep.
But I'll still
Don't
take
take me
that
aboard
more
that
than
crazy
most of
train.
this new music right now. I would take that. I would take Tiny Music and that shitty album
Hmm.
over a lot of what's happening right now. It's sad.
Oh my
It's so
God,
sad.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I love me grunge. I'm definitely a grunger at heart because that was my high school time. You know, that was when
Yeah.
I was coming to and all of that, and that was huge to me. It is a really big
Yeah.
deal, and still to this day, like it is my most listened to genre for
Hmm.
the most part. But there's
Yeah.
so many. It's more limited, so I don't just listen to it
Yeah.
on repeat. I listen to a lot of classic rock. Honestly, I listen to a lot of like '70s rock. That's kind of
Oh
like
God,
what
yes.
I listen to a
That's where some
lot.
yeah, that was where some of the good stuff was. The '70s rock. Absolutely.
Yep, like Led Zeppelin. I love the Doors,
Hmm.
which is more '60s, but I love that shit. Like that.
Yep.
Pink Floyd is my all time favorite band forever. So
There you go.
That's kind of where my love lies, really, is I listen to a lot of classic rock and a lot of grunge. And that's like my main shit that like I really feel in my fucking heart. So,
Absolutely.
I'm glad to find another 80s babe, though. It's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some cool playlists that we made on my Facebook group, the Quarantine Tea Party, that I started right at the beginning of quarantine. It's a fantastic group, and I will absolutely add you into it because it's a bunch of sarcastic fucks in a Facebook group, and it's fantastic.
Hell yeah!
And we actually, it's really really great, and it's like not for the weak-willed for sure, because our sense of humor is real fucking dark, and it's like, if you don't like it, sorry. People are like tagging the admin. I'm offended. And I'm like, yeah, I'm offended that you're offended. How about that? Why don't you go? Well, we made
There's
a
a door. Don't let it hit you in the ass on the way out. Yeah, bye.
Exactly. But my point is, in that group, we made an 80s mixtape. We're like, oh, let's all throw some 80s music. So we have a Spotify playlist that's the Quarantine Tea Party 80s playlist, and it's a public list, so people can add different stuff into it. So you should totally
have to go look for that. I am gonna go look for that later.
I'll send you a link to it. It's fantastic, and you can add stuff in if there's anything that you feel like is missing from it.
Oh hell yeah! I bet I'll find something. I'll find something. I know I will. I'll be like, hey, you forgot this one. Throw this one in. It's like, oh shit.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna drop a link right now into the chat because it's good, man. It's a pretty good, for those that like 80s music. I feel like you guys would like it. Okay, so let's see. Share. We're copying a link. Fantastic. I'm putting it in the chat. Bam. Everybody, join us in Spotify land. 80s Spotify land.
I love it. Awesome. I love it.
Good. So before we wrap up for the evening, are there any other fun stories that you have that you would like to share with us today?
Absolutely, I do. The number 3. We're gonna do a little, like, not really numerology, but just something with the number 3 is hilarious. Okay. Now, I'm an only child, but I have 2 adopted stepbrothers. So now I have 2 brothers. So, one of my brothers and I were the same age, but we're 3 months apart in age. Oh, he and his brother are 3 years apart. There's the 3 of us. Okay, you follow? Ooh. Are we following this so far? Okay. Yeah. So, my oldest brother, so it's like he was first to get the license. Then the other brother got his license, then I got mine. Oldest brother was the first to graduate college. The other brother then graduated college. Then I graduated college. Now, between the 3 of us, I'm considered the baby. I'm the little sister. My brother, who's 3 months older than me, calls me little sister, and it makes me laugh. And I'm like, dude, we're the same age, but you still call me the little sister. That's fine. Cute. I'm okay with it. Okay. All 3 of us were married 3 years apart. My oldest brother in 91. Our brother in 94. And then me in 97. Anybody getting weirded out yet? Because there's more.
A lot of 3s. There's a lot of 3s going on there.
There's a lot of 3s. This last one I'm going to tell you is the best one. Us 3 siblings, our spouses were all born in 1971.
Interesting.
weird. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a mystery right there.
That is very strange. That is some interesting coinkydinks.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Huh.
And
Hmm.
my brother, who's the same age as me, our wedding dates are 4 days apart, not 3. I'm like, oh, why didn't we make it 3 days apart?
Oh,
Why
that
didn't you get married
sucks,
on the
dude.
28th of October? We got married on the 25th. They got married on the 29th. It's like, you broke the chain.
Shit.
You're supposed to be like Fleetwood Mac, never break the chain.
Yeah,
Ah,
totally, dude.
they broke
Shit.
it.
That's very interesting though. What do you have any idea of like do you think
No,
it's just a cool coinky dink or do you feel like
it
it's some kind
is.
of
I
bonding
just
thing?
think it's one of the coolest coincidences that how we all got married 3 years apart, and our spouses were all born the same year. It's
Hmm.
wild. It's
Yeah.
absolutely wild. Now, there's a little twist in the thing with my brothers. My oldest brother, his wife was my other brother's ex-girlfriend at one point.
Oh. Keeping it in the
But yeah,
family, huh?
pretty more or less, yeah. But I don't remember that brother dating her. If that make It's like I don't remember you guys ever dating. Yeah, we did. I'm like, I don't remember. I totally don't remember
Huh.
it.
Weird.
And but
That's a
when
very interesting synchronicity there.
yeah. But when our oldest brother and her, when they got married, it's like when they started dating and everything, there is like no hostility between the brothers about it. Like
Okay, good.
everybody was cool. Everybody was cool. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Good. That's good. So, have you had any other kind of interesting synchronicities that are along the lines like that that you feel like is
No, that's just
super
it. It's
interesting?
like just with me and my two brothers. It's hilarious though. I'm like, what is with the number 3 here? It's like it's weird.
Well,
It's
like
like I
Roxy
love
said,
and
it's a
I
magic number.
number and
Have you heard the Blind
Roxy,
Melon cover of that song? Have you heard Blind Melon's version of Three is a Magic Number?
that's an old Schoolhouse Rock thing.
It is. And Blind Melon did a version of the song and it's fan fucking tastic.
I'll have to go listen to that one.
It's so
Oh
good.
my god. Yeah,
It wasn't on one
it's
of their main
crazy.
albums, but it's great. It's so good. Cool.
That's just wild.
I like it. What I love synchronicities. It makes you wonder if everything is just random or, chaos or if there is some kind of order to things and you never know. But it makes us wonder, which is why we are inspired by the mystery of it for sure. You haven't heard the Blind
Hmm.
Melon one, Roxy? Shush. It's the best. Hold on, I'm dropping it in the chat.
Oh my god,
Okay.
this mixtape list, Sammy. Oh my god, you've got
It's
stuff
great,
I
right?
remember. I'm like, yes.
There's a bunch of
Yes.
good stuff in there. Okay, I'm putting three is the magic number in there. It's so good. You can just type in Spotify, three is a magic number. It'll pop up. But I love it. I love Blind Melon. Blind Melon is, I feel like, a super underrated band. And I absolutely adore them. And sadly, they only had two regular studio albums before Shannon Hoon died. But they did have another one that was in the works that came out afterwards. So it's got a few of their other songs and some, um, not completely finished studio recordings. And that one's, it's really good too. But both of their main albums are so, so, so good. So anybody that has not heard them, I would highly recommend listening to Blind Melon's albums. They're really great. They're so good. But yeah, you eyeball in this playlist, it's chock full of fun. It'll
Oh
take you
my
back, a blast
god.
to the past. So anybody feel free
Totally.
to follow that link and just save it into your library and you can come back and listen to it anytime.
Oh,
That
I
was
bet
all
I
hands
could
on deck.
probably.
I added a lot of shit in there myself personally. but there was a couple people that really brought it home and added a bunch of shit in there too. It's great. I love it. Spotify's so awesome. I'm so glad
Oh my
that we
God,
have
I
that
know.
right now.
Jesus. I'm looking at some of this. I'm like, oh my God.
Bringing you
Yes,
way back, huh?
yes.
Yep.
Totally. The fact that somebody put Striper in there, hell yes, there you go.
Actually,
Oh my
funny
God.
fun fact, my old roommate in Atlanta was the fill-in guitarist for Striper when they went on a tour and one of the guitarists got sick or whatever and couldn't go on the tour, and my roommate was the fill-in guy for the Striper. I think it was a European tour.
And if I remember correctly, it was Timothy Gaines who's the bass player.
It's
Yeah.
possible. I don't even know. But yeah, it was
No,
actually funny. My roommate at the time, like, he was so rock and roll that I'm not even shitting you. Like, he wore his leather pants like every day, even just like in the house. Like, we're just hanging out like in our house, like watching TV or whatever. Like, he would just wear his leather pants every fucking day. So this guy, it was a lifestyle. He lived it fully. But that's pretty funny. RJ
come on,
just
an
played the
80.
Striper. No shit, really. Ah,
Oh,
that's really
RJ.
great.
So jealous.
That's
Jealous.
awesome. That's so
Okay,
awesome.
fun fact about Striper.
Yeah.
I met them in person.
Did you?
I met them in person. They were at a record store that we used to have back here on the East Coast called Strawberries. And I went to go see them. And as I was waiting in line, this song honestly was playing. So I'm waiting for my turn to meet them and everything. And I'm singing along. And I'm just like looking around. Then all of a sudden I happen to look over at Michael's suite, and he kind of went like he's doing this, like leaning like to find like who's singing. And he sees that it's me and then it's my turn to meet him. He's like, your voice is beautiful. That sounded so good. I'm like, thank you.
Aww. That's awesome. What a nice compliment.
Oh, wait,
A
there's
Striper
another musician.
Bible.
Oh my
No.
God, I know what she's talking about. I think it's, yeah. They actually used to pass out Bibles at their shows, and if you got one, that was your keepsake from the show.
Like a Gideon Bible type of thing? Or was it like a
I
special
think
version?
I think it might have been a Gideon one, and I can't remember if they were painted, if they were done in black and yellow. It could have been,
Oh
but
man,
an,
that's so
an,
funny. Why would. Oh.
um another musician story of someone I met, Kip Winger, former lead singer of Winger. He did an acoustic show in Boston at the old Borders bookstores. I went, I'm sitting right in the front row. He's playing on the acoustic guitar and everything. And he goes into the song Miles Away on the guitar. I'm singing along with him. I think almost everybody else was as well. But he managed, it's like I looked up at him and I saw he kind of had his attention on me a little bit. And then once he was done and he looked at me, he goes, you've got some great melody. Because you got very good harmonizing. You sounded really, really good. I'm like,
Cool. That's so
two
awesome. Getting
musicians
compliments.
telling me, two musicians
Yay.
telling me how good I sounded. And that was like back in the 80s when I had a really good singing voice. Now it's shot. It's shot.
That's super cool. I love that.
It's like, that's like
I had a
compliments that,
I had a
mm,
singing experience with Steven Tyler. Actually, it was after the
nice.
Aerosmith concert, Aerosmith and Stone Temple Pilots concert in Nashville, and we went into this little bar in Nashville. Someone's like, "Hey, Winona Judd and Steve and Tyler are in there right now, and we're like, they're just in this little tiny bar. They're like, yeah, you should go in, and I'm like, thank you, random person, I absolutely will. And there wasn't too many people in there at first, but it started getting kind of packed, and both of them were behind the bar to keep them from getting swarmed by people. But I was like tiny, so I was pushed up against the bar, so I wasn't shoved in with everybody. And I got to meet him, I got to shake his hand, and the band was playing like some, 70s rock covers or whatever. And you know that song, Tush? I said, Lord, take
Oh
me
yeah.
downtown. I'm just looking for some tush. We were singing
Yep.
it together. And I was like, I couldn't move from the bar. I couldn't go anywhere. And he was like right there. And we were just like rocking out together, like singing that song together. And it was really fun. So now whenever I hear that song, I'm like, I got to sing that song with Steve and Tyler. We rocked out together. It was no big deal. Totally fine.
Oh,
Awesome.
Roxy, is Kip not like the sweetest person to ever meet and to meet ever? He is Kip Winger was an absolute delight to meet. Super sweet, very chilled, laid back type of guy. And I'm like, oh my God, you are like so cool. I'm like, oh my God, I knew I loved this band for a reason and everything. But when I heard he was, because I think at the time, this is when he went solo for a little bit. And he was he was promoting that first solo album, which is why I went to go see him. Yes, he does have the best teeth on the planet. Does he ever? They are the best. You know he paid good money for them though, to make sure they stayed that way. But I did see them in concert once. They opened up for Deep Purple, and
Nice.
he actually, yep. Because Kip is a former ballet dancer. He's classically trained. And
Wow.
if you ever saw the old Winger videos when he does like the little pirouette turns, he's on one foot doing it. And it's a
Wow.
perfect pirouette with a bass.
That's awesome.
It's
And yeah,
hilarious.
Steve Scott says he's seen him too. He has seen every band. I think
I know.
Steve has seen every band that has ever lived ever, and I'm envious. It's amazing. That's so cool. That's cool that you've got to meet some bands that you really loved. That's really cool.
What? Oh yeah.
You ever get any
Like,
backstage Betty action?
no, sorry, I don't have those stories. Damn.
That's okay.
I don't
I
have the
don't
groupie
either.
stories. I don't
I
have
don't
any
either.
groupie
I always
stories.
wanted some groupie stories, but I never got any.
Yes.
I've got to go backstage with a bunch of bands, but it was always very uh, wholesome interactions.
She's like, I told
When
you.
I went and saw Stone Temple Pilots, my goal of that night was to have a very unwholesome interaction with Scott Weiland, and it did not work, and that's sucks. Because I was ready to roll.
Like, that sucked.
Gonna do it. I know. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. I guess it's fine. But yeah, good. I'm glad we've had so many fun experiences in the music world, and I'm glad we got to talk about so
Absolutely.
many of them. It's so good. It's so awesome. Good. I am so glad that you wanted to come on the show today. This was so much
Oh,
fun. Just getting
yeah,
to
now
sit and
everybody,
chit chat.
yeah, and now everybody, now y'all have gotten to know all about me, at least what I'm willing to share.
Hey, that's all you got to share. I'm glad that you shared what you did. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm pretty much an open book. I mean, if you guys ever come by my streams, which are usually mostly Sundays, are like my big times to do my streaming. I figured, let me do the little promo so you guys know when to come see me. Um, if so, Sundays I usually start at 9 a.m. Eastern, and I can go about 11-12 hours on a Sunday.
Wow,
I can stream
really?
like I can
You
stream
start that early
that.
and you go for
Hmm.
that long? Wow.
Yep. I have that stamina to do it. The longest I've done a stream was 19 hours. And that was New Year's Eve 2020 into 2021. Yeah, so
Holy
Sundays
shit.
Sundays
That's
are
forever.
so Sundays are the best days to come catch me. Saturdays, if I'm not working, it's a 4-hour stream from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. all Eastern time.
Man, that's just crazy that you go
Which
for
is
that
why
long.
sometimes on a Sunday night, Roxy Gun Project gets a raid by me like they did this past Halloween. I'm like, nope, I'm going in because it's like I want to see what the costumes were. I needed to see what they were wearing for costumes. I had to see it.
I tried to put a link in the chat, but it didn't work. So, one of my
Roxy, can
lovely,
you link
yes,
can you do my shout out, please?
Roxy, help us,
Help,
or
help.
Dusty, somebody.
Roxy Gunn, you're my only hope. Roxy Gunn, you're my only hope.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, this has been really fun. I'm really glad that I got to know the person behind the name of the Empress. There we go. Bam.
Thanks, Dusty. Bam.
Dusty did it. He did it so fast.
Bam.
That was good. Good. I wanted to see who was gonna win, who was gonna get it first. But he got
Who's gonna do it? Who's gonna bring it up first?
Awesome.
Dusty's
Yeah,
on
he's on
fire.
fire. Let's see.
Dusty's
So
on fire.
as far as a raid right now, you know who is on is Danny Human Juke is on right now. So we should absolutely raid Danny right now. If anybody is not familiar with Danny the Human Juke, he is absolutely fantastic. He's an amazing human and an incredible musician. He does covers, he takes requests, and he is just one of the most talented humans in the entire Twitch community, in my personal opinion. And he's just a doll face. So anybody that's hanging out in the chat, please stick around for Human Juke and give him a follow for sure. Have you ever listened to him, Jody?
No.
You heard him? Oh, he's fucking great, dude. It's awesome. Whenever he gets a hype train, he calls it Juke Goes Nuke. And
Nice.
throughout the entire duration of the hype train, in the chat, people type in different songs, and he'll do like little bits of each song, and he'll just go, he does on the piano, he's mainly piano guy, and he'll be doing piano singing, and he'll go from, I don't know, Elton John to Madonna like super fucking fast, and he will do it for, I mean, sometimes if you get a level 5 hype train, that's like 12 minutes or something, and he just goes the entire time based on what people are putting in chat. It's absolutely amazing. Actually, it's very, very, very impressive. So yeah, definitely stick around for Danny. He's great. Actually, I met him when I was in Atlanta hanging out with Risky Biscuit guys, and he was coming. I got there, I think, like 3 days before he got there. So we overlapped and we got to meet each other, and he's just like the coolest human. We had some sing-alongs that night. Ben Folds on the piano and everything. It's
oh,
great.
nice.
It's good for the heart. But I just want to thank everybody so much for being here tonight. Thank you, everybody in chat. Thank you to my mods. Want to give out big mod love to Roxy and Dusty, who are the coolest mods in the universe.
Mod love.
And yeah, mod love. We need some mod love.
We need some mod love.
Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll pop over to Danny. I can't believe he's still on right now. He's East Coast time as well. Normally he's done by this point, but he has 132 people watching right now, so he's the full force. So
Roxy, this was my absolute pleasure for you guys to really know me. I appreciate it. I was very happy to be a part of this. And the funny thing is,
Good.
I'm the one who approached Sammy about this. She didn't come to me. I went to her. And I'd be like, hey, if you ever want to guest for the show, it's like, yo, hi, I'm available. She's like, oh my God, I would love to have you.
No, it's so amazing. I'm glad that you did. I'm so grateful. Thank you for coming and sharing a little bit.
Absolutely.
Tonight. It's
my most intimate.
Fantastic.
Oh, Dusty, there are other intimates, but we won't go into those. We could be here all night. That would be stuff we would have to meet in person. We'd have to meet in person to discuss all that.
I hope we do at some point. I hope we do get to meet.
I hope so too. Yes, yes,
that
yes.
That would be fan-fucking-tastic. All right.
Right, and we're rating off.
Yeah, any moment now. We're rating. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Mwah. Yay.
Oh, that was so much fun.